Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
The crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. You have Mike Schaefer, Mike Sauter, Michael Severe.
I feel
Mike,
like an outsider.
One of these
Josh.
things isn't like the other. One of these
Sauter.
things isn't the same. No, the J.O.
I thought you
over
were
here.
talking about
Mr. J.O. You got
You-
MSs and MSs and MSs and a J.O.
I thought you
A
were
lot of
talking
MS.
about skin color there. For a
No.
second.
Well, I would say
I thought you were
hair.
talking about the pepper
I would go a
story
little
you told
hair,
me.
actually. I would go a little hair. I missed the pepper story.
You are flaunting a lot of hair.
I went to work. I got there at 6:30 this morning just so I can get a whole bunch of stuff done before I came to this. And I did get a bunch of stuff done, but I missed parts of your show. So I missed the pepper story. What kind of pepper are we talking about?
No, you told me.
Oh, the green
bad
pepper.
Green pepper.
Oh, yeah. We had an event over at the World Herald where Mike was up for an award or won an award or something. And
That guy wanted to.
I did win.
yeah, he won an
That
award.
night, I
And
remember.
so we get there and they bring out the food. And Sawdust look at the food. He's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a green pepper. What do you mean? What is that? What is that? It's a green pepper. And like, I think they also had zucchini.
Yeah, I wasn't
Zucchini was
touching
on the
that.
plate. It was like a little vegetable collection.
Yeah, yeah.
And it actually was
Like a vegetable medley.
Yes, exactly. And it was good.
Yeah.
And Mike had never seen anything in that medley.
Oh my god.
At that point in his life.
Look-
That's why it was funny the other day. You touted him as like
You know
What was
food.
the
You like
phrase?
food?
yeah, not a food guy. He's not a food guy. No.
No, he's a food guy and then he likes food, but he likes very specific avenues to food.
Sixth graders.
Yeah.
He basically dominates a 12-year-old's appetite.
12-year-old. Yeah. I have a
he
palate of a
dominates that.
12-year-old.
Yeah,
That's
he will-
fine.
he will
I'm
dominate
okay
that.
with that.
That and
You're
steak.
big on the age thing with food, where for me it's more of just like there's people that have like he only drives on a 1-lane highway kind of thing.
Yes.
And some people
Yeah.
are on like they're going through downtown Atlanta where they're 16 across.
That's
or
right.
Whatever it is.
Mhm.
So that's how I view food, less of the age.
Okay.
Because like there's probably toddlers that are more adventurous eaters than I am.
No.
No.
But
No.
No.
As someone you haven't gotten to the toddler age yet, I will tell you no.
Very
No.
particular.
Hudson will try
No.
things.
No.
Michael spit a lot
Yeah,
out.
my youngest, who has a bit of an anxiety issue, which is probably our fault. But anyway, he at one point I said to him, I go, eventually you're just going to turn into a chicken nugget because that's all you eat. And it freaked him out so much that he wouldn't eat. And my wife's like, what are you doing? He's got anxiety, and you tell the child that, and now he won't eat anything. So yeah, no, most toddlers don't have much of a very creative appetite.
We have we're in the pasta thing. Like it's always pasta.
yeah.
Like it's always noodles.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's more to life than noodles.
See, I could live in that phase. I could have noodles. It need to be different types, different sauces.
Sure,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
This is
Like,
just
I can live in
noodles
that.
with cheese, and that's about
This
it.
is like going over to Spaghetti Works when you have like between
Haven't been there
4-year-old
forever.
and like
Mhm.
maybe 12-year-old. They love that place because all it is pasta with whatever kind of sauce they want.
Right.
You can get beer cheese, you can get clams, you can get whatever you want.
But you can do
And
different proteins. You can do different.
different types of pasta,
Sure.
whatever
Yeah.
number you want to go. You go to Penny, you go to Spiral,
Bow
you go
tie.
to Bow Tie with Spiral. You can do that too. Yeah, all those. Yeah. So
And
kids love that. Your kid will love that eventually.
Yeah,
when you take them there.
pasta's easy.
Yeah.
Like
Very
we'll
simple.
do different things, and he'll be fine with pasta. The more challenging thing with him is just like I feel like constantly he either has some sort of ear infection, which means he doesn't want to eat as much,
Yeah.
or he's still like getting his his wisdom teeth or his back molars or whatever. But then you'll just go through these phases where he's eating great, and then you have like a week where he won't touch anything.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff that he likes. And
Has he
it's just-
gotten tubes yet?
No, we're battling. I think our 3rd ear infection in the last 4
you got to
months
get to
here.
5.
Go to
Yeah.
tubes. Yeah,
Well,
just
no,
go to
it's-
tubes. Yeah.
We don't get the choice.
Yeah,
just gotta-
it's 5. You got to go to
Listen,
5.
Let me tell you something. As someone who has a wife who's from South Omaha, don't put up with it. Just don't put up with it. You tell them what you have to have.
Is it?
You tell them.
I'm too much of a people
we
pleaser.
have. I don't. Not when it comes to your kid. Listen, doctor, I will put my foot so far up ass. When you're brushing your teeth, you'll be shining my shoes. You need to get my kid some tubes now, or we gonna walk out of here with some problems.
Hey, my youngest,
That's my
on
wife.
the tubes thing, my youngest, she had ear infection.
Yeah, mine
we
too,
were
yeah.
sick of it. And we're like, okay, can we just do tubes? And
Yeah.
the doctor's like, no, it has to get to like 5.
Yeah, see, that's not.
You have to
that
get to
would
5.
be-
That's where we're at, right?
No, there'd be a.
And then we
yeah.
finally did tubes. I'm like, okay, so we're just paying you every single time we're
That's
coming
what
here.
kills me.
Exactly.
You go
Crazy.
in and
Just
it's like,
get
I know
it
what
done.
medication you're going to give me. I
Yep.
know it's
Yep.
barely
Yes.
going to work,
Yep.
and yet we're
Yeah.
going to be here again, pay the copay, pay
Correct.
the whatever, pay for the medication, and then be back here.
It's
in a
probably
month.
an insurance thing, I'm guessing.
What you need to get is a resident. Okay, the way to deal. Let me give you some secrets. Okay,
I got to
As
find the
someone-
workaround.
Let me get somebody who has. I've been.
As someone
been in front
who's
of
the
a lot.
oldest.
I'm the oldest in here, and I've also been in the doctors for my kids the most. And I would tell you, get you a resident. You don't want one of those old doctors who's been around for 30 years who tries to follow the rules. You want a resident. And the resident will be like, I don't care. I'm a resident. I'm leaving here soon. I'm going someplace else. I'm just trying to get my 2 years done, and I'm out of here. Get you a resident. And the
This is like
resident
when you
will
wanted
do,
the TA in college. Versus
Yeah.
the
Exactly,
actual
for class,
professor.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was helpful
exactly.
for me for
Yes.
passing several math
Yeah.
classes.
Same
Person
thing
that
true
just-
for a resident. You want to get yourself a resident, and usually the resident will just give you whatever you want.
Okay.
You know, because they don't care. They're moving on. As long as it's not going to kill the person, they will do it.
Well,
That's what you want. You don't want to die, but you definitely want a resident.
I think
We
we
are
got
trying
one
to
away.
prevent death.
We got one away from having tubes, and we're like, okay, so tubes are going to happen next month, next 2 months, whatever. Next time he gets one,
Mhm.
never got another.
They
one.
reset the clock
Really?
too, and there's some invisible line for it. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, it's in a year or a 6 months. It's just like whatever they make up.
And because of your child's hearing issues,
Yeah.
they should do it sooner then.
You
Because
would
the
think
last
so.
thing you want is
Oh, yeah.
additional fluid in their ear that can damage the ear more.
Right.
There's so many things in the ear that can be damaged by this stuff. You know, just to fill up the hair inside of the ear. You know, he needs his better, or my sons too, need theirs more than Josh needs it, right?
Sure.
So to mess around with that kind of stuff and you damage that, no, he needs it sooner, not later. And you make sure they know that.
so next
You
time
need me to go with you to an
I was
appointment.
gonna say, can
I'll
you-
go to you with I'll go
Can
with
I
you to an
let
appointment.
You know if we end up going.
I
to
will
the-
go with you to an appointment. Yes.
He slept
yes.
mostly well last night, so we're in that phase of like, do we go to the doctor? Do we
Yeah.
not go to the doctor? 'Cause
Right.
Sometimes he's sitting there, he's pulling on his ears, like you know what all the telltales.
It's a
are.
serious.
Mhm.
See, people understand this. The things that we kind of blow off, ear infections, sinus infections, those are very serious. People, bad things happen to people that have that simple thing that we just go, oh, it's just a sinus infection. It's just an ear infection. No, man. The word infection used to kill millions of people every year before we invented penicillin. Okay? It's a deadly word. That pneumonia killed more people than anything else in this world at one point.
Yeah,
right?
Oregon Trail told you that.
Yes. Thank you. And what was it? What was the other thing that killed you?
Dysentery.
Dysentery,
Dysentery,
right?
yeah.
Which in a way is an infection.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Right.
sepsis. It's bad. It's not
Diarrhea.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, don't take it. Don't do
All
it.
right.
My
Well,
tell-
I'll check with you if we end up going.
Okay.
You just walk in there and you say, damn it,
Like,
this is what we're doing.
this
Can I
is
say that?
Hudson's
Can I say that?
advocate.
You can use
We're
damn it
his
if you
parents,
like.
but this
Oh.
is Hudson's advocate. Mike.
Yes, I am his
Yeah.
medical advocate. I would be that.
I like
Yes.
that.
You get one of those very early on, and then very late in life, you get another medical advocate.
I
That's
in
a
between,
different-
you handle yourself. In the beginning and the end, you need one. Yeah. I was thinking of something when I heard Brunts on earlier.
Okay.
Is there someone you know that has an incredible special talent that shocked you? Mine was talking to Brunts. His wife speaks, I believe, Cantonese
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Mandarin.
Yep.
Right? So I was like, whoa.
Well, you
That was
know
crazy.
Did he tell you
She
they
lived over there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, those are two languages that when someone says they speak them, you're like, well, you tell me you speak Spanish, German, French, any of those, Russian, Japanese. When you say I speak Cantonese, I'm like, ooh, that's special. Is there somebody you know that has like a special talent like that? Here's the one I know about. So I have a friend named Tyler. This is New Orleans Saints Tyler.
Okay.
It's a giant human being, Saints fan. Met him at the sports bar, been friends with him now for a decade, right? He is top 100 in the world in Madden.
Wow.
Wow.
And I did not know this about him for a few years. And then I'm like, hey, you're going to come to such and such. And he goes, no, I have this tournament I got to be in. And, I got to keep up my ranking. And I'm like, so what are you? I was thinking like, 5,000, whatever. He's
Sure.
like, number 90, like in the world. And
That's crazy.
Whoa.
I'm like, wow, I've never played the game. I'm sure it's great. You're probably good at it. You know anybody like with like a special talent like that?
I don't. I'm sure I do, but I'm like blanking.
And then
now
I
as
get
I'm
when they
trying
tell
to,
you,
like,
you're like, whoa.
like trying to go through the Rolodex of.
What's BC besides pronunciation? What is BC's best talent? What is his most outstanding that and remembering obscure special
does.
teams plays
Sure.
from Nebraska 1980s games?
I mean, the stuff that I mostly appreciated is that you would never really be prepared for whatever he was going to tell you that he had just watched on YouTube.
Oh.
Or like, and
Yeah.
what I mean by that is it would be like he would watch a live concert version of Nirvana from like 1992, or he would just find these things, or he would tell you about a cover of like Blues Traveler's Hook that appeared in this concert. It's like, where are these coming from?
Okay, that is actually pretty interesting.
So it would be that.
He was a YouTube guy.
Both Brunt's NBC would continually make references to television shows that I had never watched.
That's Connor.
Wings being one of them.
I've never watched Wings either.
Yeah.
Did you watch Wings? I never watched Wings either. Connor does that. So I watch a lot, and he doesn't watch a lot.
No.
But the things he does watch
are not things that you watch.
I have ever heard of. Much like watch. He'll name a movie, and I'll be like, what is that movie? Or a TV show.
Okay.
And it happens almost every time he brings up one. I'm like, I didn't watch
is this
that.
true?
And I watch everything. I thought I watched everything.
I feel
He
like
does
Connor
pick
doesn't
and
get
choose
that
his
far off of
spot.
mainstream
He has
stuff.
very random
yeah.
stuff that he'll watch.
Like
Like
I was
a
shocked
movie.
when he said, "Yeah, we're watching Paradise."
Yeah, that's
Now I got him into Paradise. So I got him into
He
Paradise.
did it.
I got him into Paradise, which is an outstanding show. If you haven't watched, by the way, this season finale. Oh my
And they're
I
in
don't know
season
what
two?
you're talking about.
they finished season 2.
Okay.
And the finale just happened. It's on Hulu.
Hulu. It's on
Hulu. Thank you.
Yeah.
I never know where things are. It's on Hulu, and it's kind of one of those shows about the end of the world kind of thing. Not a quite end of the world. It's got, I would say, America's top 5 greatest actor currently in Sterling K. Brown.
I was going to say
okay.
the only
That's
person I
fair,
know
yeah.
involved in that show I absolutely
Yeah.
love because he was in the
This
People
is a-
versus O.J. Simpson,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is where I first
Yes.
came across him.
Yeah, he's been in all
and
kinds
he was
of stuff.
so good.
He's good in
He's
everything
really
he
in that
does.
role.
Everything he does.
Okay.
And there's also the woman who plays the character Sinatra. You know her. She's one of those you don't know her name, but you've
Okay.
seen her in hundreds of things.
Okay.
And then there's random people throughout the show that you've seen
Okay.
before, but you don't know their names.
Famously.
Isn't
No, I know.
Marsden in it.
Yes, he is in it. Yes. I hate this. I cannot see you when I talk to you, and I hate it.
Sitting here sucks.
Remember when
Sitting there is great.
Remember we had the conversation, and I was saying to you, you know this guy. He always plays a character who loses the girl in movies that he's been in, and he was in one of the princesses movies. And I was like, what's this guy's name? None of us could remember his name. That's what I was talking about. That's the guy.
James Marsden.
James Marsden,
James
who always loses the girl. If he's in a show or a movie where there's a girl and there's 2 guys, he's
Mhm.
the one that always comes up in second place.
Well, he should probably be a little better then.
No, it's not him. It's the character. It's written that way.
Oh.
It's not his fault. It's much like that big rabbit. He's just drawn that way.
Well,
The way it works.
it's like Matt's whole opinion on Jason Bateman. I would never have come up with this, but he dropped the thing on how Jason Bateman is always getting cheated on, and now in like every show
He has gotten cheated on a
Jason
lot.
Bateman is always getting cheated
He is
on.
very true.
And he said it one time, and it
Yeah.
stuck with me. And it's,
And it's
like, well,
only
now I
3
can't-
times. It's like 3 things.
Well, it's
But that's
definitely
enough.
Ozark.
It's Ozark. That's a big one. Yeah.
The most recent couple movies, I think.
What's the one where he walks in and it's that the tall dude? What's that actor name? He's got a good podcast. He was in the Nebraska show. It was
Dex?
Dax Shepard. So he's in there and he walks in on Dax Shepard, who's his boss, I believe. That one. And then there's one more. I don't think it's a lot. I always think him as being the guy who does dirty things.
There's a one. He's in this movie Extract, which I think Josh and I are probably. Have you
The
seen
show or
Extract?
the movie?
It's a movie.
Okay, I've seen the show.
It's a movie called Extract. It's a Mike Judge movie,
Ooh.
and it's about a vanilla extract company that Jason
Weird.
Bateman works for, and then his wife is like cheating on him in that
Oh wow.
as well. And
Yeah.
so there's just like once Matt pointed this out, my brain
Right.
did the like.
Yeah, sure.
It's like
Yeah.
you're watching the detective show and they have the
Yeah.
strings going everywhere. Like
Sure.
that's what my brain started to do with Jason Bateman.
You know,
And it worked.
did you see Juno?
Yeah.
So in Juno, he's a horrible person.
Yeah, he's the one.
It took me years for me to get past that about him. Like
You held that against him?
I held it on it. I held it against him because
Like,
he
how
was
dare
such.
you do that to Jennifer
I
Garner?
felt. I know.
Yeah.
Not just to Jennifer Garner, to the girl too.
Well, sure.
I mean, one of the greatest lines in movie history is in that movie, by the way.
About the running shorts.
No. When she goes, well, who is it? And she says the kid's thing goes, well, I didn't think he had it in him. Remember that part? Well, I didn't think he had it in him.
J.K. Simmons.
This is
Pretty
so
much
good.
every line he delivers
Yeah,
in that
he's
movie
so
is
good.
great.
I didn't think he had it in him. But yeah, anyway, so Juno, yeah, after that, I did not like Jason Bateman for a long time because of how horrible he was in that movie.
The David Letterman sit down thing that he does on Netflix with Jason Bateman was really good.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
He's so good at that.
He's really
Yeah.
you can really learn a lot of like
All of those are
conversational.
Really good. Yeah,
stuff from
he's a
him,
great
yeah.
interviewer, and he lets people tell stories. Doesn't necessarily make the story about himself,
Mhm.
which he could do a lot. He doesn't do that. He did one with what's the girl who plays the violin. I don't want to say heavyset woman. The actress, the singer.
I don't know.
What's her name? Come on, she's a huge star.
Adele?
That plays the violin.
Not Adele.
She got in trouble because I believe she fat shamed one of her dancers or something, and she all of a sudden almost got canceled. Damn it! You know what I'm talking about.
Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Lizzo.
He did a sit down and a kind of walk around. Went to her place in Houston, and that interview was so interesting because she's got this crazy life
Mhm.
where like they were part homeless, and anyway, I thought it was great. I thought it was outstanding. Lizzo, thank you, Lizzo. Yes, Joe,
Lizzo.
thank you, Lizzo. Thanks for all the help with the Lizzo there.
Well,
That's a good description. I didn't want to say she was
Well,
heavy.
you
in the
didn't say-
music, I'm probably the last guy that's going to be able to help.
Violin.
Sauter might be.
What does she play?
Not a violin.
What
That's
does she play?
me out.
Piccolo? What does she play?
Can play the violin.
I've seen her play the
Yeah.
violin before. What else
Oh.
does she play?
I don't know.
The flute?
I've never known her to be.
She plays something my son does not play. I know all the instruments my son plays.
I've never known her to have an instrument.
He
in her
plays a
hand.
tuba.
Classically trained with the flute.
The flute.
Flute.
Thank you. The
There you
flute.
go.
The flute.
flute, violin,
Yes, he plays
same thing.
He plays a lot of stuff, man. My son plays a baritone and a euphonium.
Yeah.
And he plays a tuba and a sousaphone, which are simply the same thing, but when you march, it's different.
Yeah.
So you march with a sousaphone, you sit down with a tuba. You march with a euphonium, you sit down with a baritone. Those are the ones I know. I played the trombone.
Your son had a birthday the other day, and he didn't acknowledge that
He
it was his
forgot.
birthday?
He forgot that it was
Wow.
his
So
birthday.
Here's what happened. So he schedules, obviously does his schedule over at Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
And so normally people would schedule their birthday off knowing that we would go to birthday dinner or something, right?
Mhm.
And so his mom's like, well, so when do you write your schedule down? Because you're working on Friday. He goes, yeah. She goes, why would you schedule stuff on Friday? He goes, I always work on Friday. And she goes, it's your birthday. He goes, oh, it is? Yeah, that's Logan. He's focused on what he needs to be focused on. Everything else, oblivious.
That's a wild.
He's
Like I'm not
absolutely
like
oblivious.
a big birthday guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to make it a big deal, whatever.
Right.
But you just know, like that. Or I guess for me, you just
Yeah,
know
not
that
him.
date's coming up. You
Not
know
him.
What it is.
Not him. Part of it's his mom's fault because when she put his
Mm.
Facebook account together, she used a different date because she didn't want people to like to scam him or
find out-
something.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so everybody sends him these wishes on the wrong day. And it's in March. And so maybe that's why.
She's rewired your son's brain.
Maybe
to think
she
his
has.
birthday's in March.
Yeah, he's
now.
not knowing what his birthday
Oh
is, I guess.
no.
That's possibly what happened.
I was gonna blame it on bad parenting, but
It could be. You call that. I mean, she was trying to protect him in a way.
I'm not.
Yeah. she's
No,
trying to
I'm not
protect him.
talking about her. I'll never say anything mean about your
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah. Because she's South Omaha.
I
You don't want to play with
I also
that.
know her.
Back on you.
You don't
Yeah,
mess about
no.
that. You don't mess around with that.
Yeah.
She wanted to. There's a certain person in our life that she's not happy with, and
Whoa.
she was talking to my mom about it, and like a couple of days later, my mom was like, "Who is so and so?" And I told her, she's like, "She wants to beat her up," and I was like, "Really? Okay, cool." I was like, "All right, so fine. I got no problem. Do what you want to do. You know, beat up who you need to beat up. I'll never stop anybody from doing that. Two grown people fight. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Who cares? Yeah. So nobody knows anybody that has like any special talents. You don't like?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Does Sasha have any special talents? Your boss?
I don't know. Maybe.
I know one thing. She's a multitasker.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yes, that's true.
incredible multitasker.
She's that.
This woman, when she was my producer, we used to, during the show, you had to cut the segments into videos, right?
Mhm.
And you had to cut them in
Mhm.
separately into the audio cast.
Yeah.
Plus,
She's very good at
she
all
was
that.
producing the show
Yeah.
as the TV product, so she was putting up graphics and all that. Plus, she was running the board, and if there were any phone calls, she answered the
Staying on
phone.
call,
Yeah, all at the same time.
She's a hockey player.
She plays hot. Yeah, I think that would surprise people
Yeah.
that she's a
little bit.
I don't think
championship
I do
hockey
that.
player. Championship hockey player.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I have
Probably.
multiple ones in my life, and I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
Sasha won a championship. You know Mike Sigmund? You know Mike Sigmund? He used to work at
Mhm.
Channel 7. Friend of mine's my money manager guy. Won recent championship. Do you know Craig Negrelli?
Yep.
Craig from Channel used to be at Channel 6 and 3, I believe.
Mhm.
He also seniors plays in the
Wow.
senior league. Champion hockey player. Yeah, I am not
Yeah.
any of those.
People that have a special talent, I don't know.
Do you have a special talent?
Me?
I know what it is, though. I know exactly what it is, and I hate it.
What?
Mowing grass.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
That's
I-
my
lawn
talent
care.
for sure.
Lawn
Yeah,
care. Lawn care is
Talent,
I
or
love
you're
that.
Just like he devotes so much time to it.
That's part of being
No,
a special
you
talent. Plus the 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah, you spend 10,000 hours.
Yeah, you
this
get
week
great at it.
alone.
Right. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
changed my
Yeah,
air
loads,
filter
so.
on my mower yesterday.
There's an air filter on a mower?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
it's an engine. Well, unless you have,
But it's an outboard engine. Why would it need?
if
why
you're
would it
only a
need-
gas, only gas power. Because you shouldn't.
Well, I have a
an
gas
electric-
powered one. Yeah.
You should not have an electric.
I
mower.
don't have one. I haven't mowed in what year is this? I haven't mowed since before COVID.
That's right. You're not a
I haven't mowed
he's
since
a
before COVID.
kid. Get out there and mow.
Or don't mow at all. I don't care. Either way, I don't care.
I was
That would drive me
getting to
crazy.
be that, so I have it hired out now.
Oh,
I was staring at my lawn yesterday, and I told my wife, I said, "Man, I think I need to level. I think I really just want to level it out." And she's like, "You're crazy.
level it out.
level, like sand, get all like just kind of make the little bumps and stuff. Just
Oh,
sand, like literally level the entire backyard."
Yeah, that's.
And
a
she's
bit
like,
much.
I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
It's like that's
Why would you level it? It's like, do you walk up to it and go, "Look, I got to level.
no,
level
it's
with
just,
you."
there like
You're
there's
not good.
bumps and stuff. Of
There's
dog.
bumps in the lawn.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have no backyard because we have a giant lab, and it's
I-
just
Yeah.
it's just dirt everywhere.
My bulldog is ripping it. It's a constant battle between me and my bulldog for my yard
Mhm.
right now.
How big is your bulldog?
He's big. He's like
100 pounds?
No, not quite.
Okay.
I think like 75.
I don't
But
picture
he's tall.
bulldogs
He's tall.
running around and causing
No,
problems.
he's tall.
Tall
and
bulldog.
He's tall, not short and
Okay. Not a
Nah.
squatty one.
no.
Okay. More
He's
of an
with-
You got a
outside pass
muscular
rusher.
bulldog.
Yes, he's very muscular.
Okay.
His
That's
name is
cool.
Jet because
With 2 T's or 1?
one JETS.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's
Your
the
dog's a loser.
and wow.
I mean,
and wow.
Sorry.
he hasn't
and
seen
it's
the playoffs either.
no, he has not. And it's the opposite of a bulldog, right? So we did it because like he's not a jet, right? We wanted him to just
Yeah.
we wanted him to
Like
just,
Flash, right?
yeah, same, yeah.
From the
kinda.
TV show,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. I don't know what you're
I
talking
know you don't know.
No idea.
I have no idea.
I don't watch-
Dukes of
I
Hazzard.
don't watch
the Dukes
shows.
of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, okay.
The dog's
Now I
name was
know.
Flash.
Yeah, the bloodhound.
Go
Yeah.
Flash. Yeah,
Yeah.
Get him Flash.
Yes, I get it.
Dukes of Hazzard. Any?
I have.
He's too
I'm
young.
familiar with it. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
like.
He's
sat
too
and watched
young.
it.
A little-
Like I've seen clips here.
Little
and there.
dog, a little slow dog,
Yeah.
colored Flash. He never moved. His name
But
was-
anyway, yes. So my yard, I was very much so looking at it like, okay,
Yeah.
need some mortar sand. You got to spread
mortar
that.
sand.
You gotta
drop a
s-
bomb on it.
No, spread it out. You
mortar?
gotta- it's just there's a lot of steps.
I guess there is. I don't know any of them.
That's okay.
I will tell you that when we had my wife's rental property, right? When we had that and we lived there, I would do stories for Channel 7 on how to do your spring or winter on the lawn. And we used
Mhm.
that lawn for the video, right?
Mhm.
And so that lawn at one point was just incredible because we were constantly having experts come
Mhm.
over and
Sure.
treat it and stuff. Never on the new lawn. But you've seen where I live, right? Remember?
Yeah.
It's a huge
Yeah,
hill.
it's a hill.
It's
yeah.
a huge hill.
It's
You
hard.
can't even see the top of it from the street. So you don't know what's happening up there.
Mhm.
All you can see is the sides, and the sides get burned no matter what
Yeah.
you do because of the way the side of the street it's on. So there's nothing I can do for it except let it just die, which I'm
Well,
fine
you
with.
could.
No, I can't. There's nothing I can do for it. I'm pretty sure.
There's things you could do.
Really, there isn't. We did try initially. Like people across the street did the same thing. They tried and they replaced the grass. They did these patching and everything.
Well,
But
don't do
because of
that.
the way those sides are, it just burns. You can water the hell out of it, but still the water's running off it. It doesn't sit.
You
just
could-
doesn't work.
They make stuff that can hold the water.
I know. We bought the stuff. The guy across the street brought it because he was actually trying.
Mm.
He tried it and nothing. Then he replaced the entire lawn, had it dug up,
Resod and everything.
reside
Yeah, that's
everything.
crazy.
And you know where that same spot is? The same spot before.
Should just do the natural yard where you just put some bushes and
Zero
stuff.
scaping.
Yeah, zero
Our neighbors
scaping.
have that.
Yeah,
I love zero scaping. I think that's
yeah,
the greatest
because
thing
you
in the
don't
world.
have to do anything.
Yeah, and I lived in Albuquerque where we had a lot of zero scaping, a lot of rocks and cactuses
Yeah.
and cacti
Yeah.
and all that.
You're not going to sustain a yard in those conditions.
No, little tiny
No.
patches of grass for people's dogs.
That's why they have astroturf yards.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm actually surprised you haven't done that though. With a dog, I think that would make it a little less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our neighbor right behind us, she has it in her backyard. And it works out pretty good. She has the AstroTurf. Front's regular, back is AstroTurf.
Yeah.
And she's got a big dog, too. She's got a giant, one of those the poodles, the giant poodles.
The golden doodle?
Yes, golden doodle. She has one of those. And it seems like it's fine. Although, I think the poop smells worse on the AstroTurf than it does on regular.
Yeah,
I
but
would think
because it
you
gets
need to
hot.
clean it like
You got to do it
much
more.
You have to
Yeah.
spray it off too,
Yeah.
probably.
I always think of the
So
Brady
just-
Bunch when I think of AstroTurf for the.
Oh, yeah.
because that's what they're
They
you
did.
know, they're on
Yes.
a set somewhere. So
Yeah.
clearly,
Have you been to that house?
no.
No.
The Brady
Have you been to
Why
that
would
house?
you- No.
So there's a house. It's like,
Where?
is it in Illinois? You remember, Josh?
The Brady Bunch house?
Yeah. The
Well,
house is someplace.
They
and it's-
just redid this on like
Yeah,
HGTV.
They just redid the house.
Yeah.
And, it's got the sunken living room and everything and that funny half spiral staircase.
Mhm.
And they redid this house and you can go visit the house.
Okay.
This one it says it's in
That
California.
was like 3 years ago.
Cute.
That was
He's a
3
cute
years
dog-
ago,
cute
Jay.
doggy.
He is a cute dog.
He is a cute dog. Not a lot of speed. What did you say? it was?
No.
Said it's in California.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking about a different one. The house from the
Home
Christmas
Alone?
Story. Maybe I'm thinking about.
I mean, the
That's
only
Ohio.
like I've seen the Full House in San Francisco.
I've never seen that show.
Really?
Nope. Hit me at a bad time.
Okay.
Yeah, it came on. I believe I was in the Army at the time when
I
Full
mean, I
House
don't
came
think you're
out.
really missing anything having
Yeah.
not watched it.
What I miss is the references on Chick and Nick. I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, the Fuller House,
Have mercy.
the redo thing. My kids have watched
Hmm.
every single episode
I
of
haven't seen
all
that one
8
either.
seasons. They continue to watch it. I go, you guys find something else to watch.
Fuller
This
House.
is ridiculous.
Missed
Never
that
was.
one. Yeah, missed
Fuller
that one.
House is like the
I get
when
it.
the kids got older. Now they live in
Sure.
the house.
I
I
get it.
haven't been as compelled to like watch the sort of updated sitcom shows.
No.
when they've come out.
Yeah,
Like,
I
just
don't. Mm-mm.
Did you rewatch? Did you watch the what they went from being Roseanne to being the Connors?
Nope.
Did you watch
Never a
that?
Roseanne guy.
No.
We watched Roseanne when it was on initially.
What about now?
No. Well, it changed over to the Connors. We didn't watch it
No,
then
I-
either. Well, I don't know if you know, I have this hatred for John Goodman.
Oh,
You guys know about this?
Oh, you
I have
told
this.
me about.
Yeah, I
this.
have this
forgot
hatred.
about
I have this.
that's why I was
hatred for
asking
John
about
Goodman.
Roseanne nowadays.
Yeah, no, I don't watch it now. Oh, her stuff. Yeah, I don't care about that either. But it's a great singer she is. I don't. I don't watch anything with John Goodman really.
Man.
Yeah, hate John Goodman.
Whoa.
Alright.
Hate him a lot. Hate him with
Wow.
the passion of the sun.
It's something related to New Orleans, right?
Yeah, he spilled a beer on me,
Wow.
and then he laughed, and then we tried to climb up the side of the building to get to him. We'd have got to him. It'd have been on. I don't care how big he is. It was 4 of us. It'd have been on.
Yeah, back
like
then
and we've been
he
drinking
probably had a
all
security.
day.
Mhm.
We have been drinking since 4 that morning. We have been drinking, and we remember Red Dog beer.
No.
Yeah.
We
I
drank
do,
4
yeah.
cases of that.
Mad Dog 2020, I remember.
No, this is different. This is actually a regular beer. It was a popular beer for a little while, Red Dog. But yeah, he spilled it on me and then he laughed. And
I
thought it was
remember the
funny.
commercials in the 90s.
Mhm.
For Red Dog?
Whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why
No.
we were drinking that. We just happened to be, or maybe it was on sale or something.
I-
There's a reason why I don't drink anymore.
Speaking of those commercials, I remember being a kid and thinking Zima had to be the greatest tasting thing of all time.
Because
Yeah.
the name was cool.
Commercials,
Yeah.
The name was
commercials.
cool, and the commercials made it seem like
They were.
these guys would be playing basketball on a blacktop,
Right.
and then it would be like they grab a Zima.
Yeah.
It's like what they would Sprite would redo. Sprite would like do these commercials
Yep.
with LeBron like
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yes, they would.
But
Yes, they
at
would.
the time in the 90s, it was Zima, and it's like that has to be the most refreshing drink ever.
You know what you
But I
never
can't
saw?
have it until I'm 21.
You know what you never saw in a bar?
Zima.
A man drinking a Zima.
Zima.
You never
No.
saw that. Every
Well, the
table was
commercials
women.
lied.
Every table that was filled with women had Zimas all over it.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
the seltzer craze right now. That's like the Zima.
Do men not drink seltzer?
Oh,
seltzers?
men drink seltzers.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I
don't-
have so many friends that no longer drink beer, and it's just high noon.
I've
or
heard
it's
beer.
seltzers,
Yeah, it's gone
or
way
it's-
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Surfside.
The
is
high
like a-
noon smell really good.
they're
I
fine.
was playing golf with a guy and he had like a mango or
Yeah.
pineapple.
Neutrals
Yeah, that
are a big
smells
thing
great.
now. Yeah, like the whole market, and the thing that's sort of annoying is like they just keep coming out with more.
More and more.
Do they have
yeah.
more or less alcohol than a beer? A
I
normal
think it
beer.
depends.
Like a beer that has like 6.1 or something.
Because if it's a seltzer, I don't think it has more. If it's a high noon, the vodka content of it can push it past beer, I think.
Oh, okay.
In
There's
terms-
actual vodka.
in a high noon,
Yeah.
for sure.
Actual vodka.
Believe so.
I'm sorry. I could never say the word growing up. And so now I have to like oversay it.
Yeah.
I would flip the K
Hey,
and the
that's
D.
what I do on the crossover because I said
I
conclave
know.
one
I
time.
remember I heard you today. You got like slowed down when you got to it. It's hard to say. That's
Hey,
remember
it's
there's a
It's
commercial.
not.
Well, because there's a commercial with with Pavelka talking about try to say it 3 times fast. Ever level. You never heard that commercial?
Yeah.
I actually never thought about that commercial.
That's-
I just think
that's
about
why,
concrete,
'cause
and
it's
I did
not-
it one time and I never want to
It's
do
not
it again.
easy to pronounce. It's
Just
not,
read it.
yeah. Just read it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Just
I've
read
heard
it.
you read. Stop that.
Oh, stop.
Don't even start.
Stop.
I've heard you try to read.
Stop.
Do not even come in here with that. Just read it.
I've been here. You came in.
Okay. Don't you ever come in this building again and tell somebody you read. I know you. Don't be making stuff up.
Can read. Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete
See, you
Repair
screwed
in
the
Omaha.
word too.
Everlevel. I said concrete.
You said blah, blah, blah.
I did
Blah,
not.
blah, blah.
I said
Blah, blah, blah. I feel like a little kid. That was awesome. Felt good. Okay.
everlevelconcrete.com.
.com.
.com.
Good job with you. Yeah, but I can't
There.
say the word vodka very well.
Okay.
And so I slow it down when I say it. Like the D and the K, I flipped them.
So my brain, if I'm trying to say something and I realize I'm going to hit a word that I'm going to struggle with, will just go to any other word that's similar to it and work around it.
It's a great.
Mhm.
That's a good
I know
brain.
what my stumbles are,
That's a good
and I
brain.
just avoid them
Yeah.
as much as possible.
It's what's that phrase? What's the ba phrase? Cynical skepticism.
Cynical
Cynical
Yeah, that one. That was one. Like he avoid that one at all
Okay.
costs. And the injury to the back. You don't want to if you get
Slipped a disc.
yes
Slipped a
slipped disc. Yeah, you want to work around that one. He hurt his back.
Go slow, everybody.
How'd he hurt it? There's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is. All right. Well, you got
nerve.
pitch. Yes, good call on that. I know you have kids to go see and shows to do.
There you go to Lincoln.
And why didn't you come to the thing, the gala?
Well, it was my wife's birthday.
She could have come.
It was my wife's birthday.
She didn't want to come. She'd had some food. Good
I
food.
also, when you text me to ask to go to the gala, I didn't know if Nebraska was going to be in the final.
Well, no,
four.
we talked about that, and I said you're crazy, and then we went on from there. That certainly was a possibility. But
Then
you knew
I
after
just,
that,
I think we had one. It was my wife's birthday, and then soccer practice. I don't know. It just got too late, and I actually thought it was Friday in my brain.
okay, because you were
Which-
reading and you saw Friday. Instead
No,
of Thursday?
but I just thought that like last year when I went, it was Friday.
no,
so I
no,
was
it's
like,
never been
okay.
Friday. It's
I
been
know.
Thursday since we started.
It's my fault. I should have been there.
Bags of Fun is
because-
on Friday. We're on
Whoa,
Thursday.
What?
Bags of Fun's the week after us every year. You never heard of
Oh.
Bags of Fun? Well, good. I'm glad you haven't because no, it's good for kids who are in the hospital for long stays. They bring this
Oh.
giant bag of toys and
I was
things for
thinking
them to
of
have
something else.
fun. And they've been around for a while now, and they're an
Gotcha.
awesome organization.
No, So yeah, it was my fault. I should have been there as.
Or you should have
someone
just said, "I'm not coming."
no.
Then I
that-
would have known you weren't coming. I thought you were coming.
You never followed up from when I said, "Hey, they might be playing in the final."
I
four."
did. I wrote you right back.
You
and
said,
I went. Yeah, you're
"Bu-
right. That's
bull
possible.
crap." No, you were. It was something like, "Yeah, right." And then I was like, "Well, we'll see." And then from there, died.
But then we knew, like all of us, that they didn't make the Final Four. Right? At some point, did we know that? They played
We
a game.
did.
Played a game against Iowa. I heard.
we did. We were very
the funniest
aware.
part of the night at the gala, and I'll let you go. Funniest part of the night at the gala is when Matt Davison started talking about that game against Iowa and how now, and of course, our winner was from Iowa, our
Mhm.
Legacy Award winner was from Iowa, our mentorship year Iowa Western head coach. So he goes, yeah, I never thought I'd be up here after Nebraska make the Sweet 16. I never thought I'd be up here in front of all these Iowa fans after Nebraska lost. And the crowd, did you hear the crowd? There were so many Iowa fans
Oh,
in the
Oh.
crowd.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was crazy how loud it was. It
Hey.
shocked my wife. She sent me a text. She's like, "What is going on?"
Hey, I did see a mock draft where Caden, it's 7th round pick to the New York Jets. I'll take that all day.
I saw him as a 5th round pick.
Oh.
I saw.
I would
Caden
take
as
him
a
on the
5th.
Jets all day.
Yeah, he's not
Returner
going to
and
fall that far. Somebody's
No.
going to look up and
slot
say,
receiver,
slot
Yeah.
receiver.
returner,
Like, that's
all
a better
that.
use of a draft
great.
pick than you will use on whatever
Some random
third-string tight
offensive
end you're
line.
trying to do.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Or like the Bears, and you draft a punter.
Right.
At some point, right there, you just go, "You know what? Let's get a punter. Let's get a guy who can return kicks and punts for us and play the slot."
Yeah, I would take him on the New York Jets in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think he could help.
He's a good player. Chan says I need to bury the hatchet with John Goodman. I'll bury the hatchet with him, all right? Right in the side of his head.
You're gonna
I'll bury him.
I'll bury the hatchet, all right. No problem. Guys, thank you very
All
much.
right.
Who reads the end part of this?
You do.
Damn it. Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha. Everlevelconcrete.com. We're back with the show.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome to Middays with Matt. I am Michael Severe, sitting in for Matt McMaster, and as I always call the show, Middays with Josh and Matt, which I believe should be the title of the show. Personally, what I think it should be, but you know what? I don't make the rules. I'm not one of those people that sit upstairs and create stuff like show names and things like that. Josh, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Michael? Thanks for doing this.
Well, I'm not going to say thanks for asking me because I didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
But
I heard.
not because of that. Well, when he asked me, I was right in the middle of the last 3 days before the gala, and I was stressed with stuff. And I'm like, dude, I can't make a decision like that now, this point of my life while I'm trying to get ready for this thing. I do like coming in here because I really enjoy the border predictions, because there's like old ones on here and there are new ones on here. The one I disagreed with the most when it was said came from you.
Whoa.
Yes, it was the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift one.
I'll be proven right on that.
Will not be together at which Christmas will that be?
Great question, Michael.
They're now
there
getting
will
married.
Be one Christmas between now and eternity where they will
not be together. Well, one of them could die and they wouldn't be together. That's not right.
I don't wish that upon anyone, but it will happen.
I don't believe that's what you meant when you said that one. I'm just guessing.
No one asked me to clarify.
You didn't believe in the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift love story. You didn't believe in it. I believed in it right away. I was very excited about it.
He's going to cheat on her with a barbecue skank.
A barbecue skank?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny about Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce went from being one type of person to being a different type of person in terms of his ladies.
Yes.
You ever notice that?
Yes.
Like he had a run of ladies, a certain look, and then just went like they flipped the coin, the other side of the coin. Yeah, I'll try that side of the coin because she is different. She is not like the other women that Travis Kelce had been with over his life.
Distinctly different.
Distinctly different. I mean, she's really rich. That's the first part of it.
Yeah.
But there's other parts too. There's one on Tuesday that I always this is so stupid for me, but every time I read Freddie Freeman, I think of the guy who does radio.
Oh,
that guy, Freddie Coleman.
Freddie Coleman.
And I think about that every time.
Great pipes.
And I'm like, what retire or what? I was like, oh yeah, it's a baseball thing.
That one's wrong.
Yeah. Did he leave?
Well,
is he still there? Where is he?
I thought when he went to the Dodgers, he would come back to Atlanta for like the last season. But I mean, he's hit walk-off home runs in the World Series. He ain't coming back.
Who's he play for now?
Dodgers.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to Freddie Freeman. He's playing for the team I believe that won the last two.
That's correct.
Two World Series.
Knowing baseball.
Look at that. I know what's happening in the world. Bears don't leave Chicago South Side. Are
South Side riots?
I don't know what that word is. I thought it was rivals at first, but I don't. Oh, Bears don't leave Chicago or the South Side will riot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's Jimmy Allen. They're moving. They're moving.
They will not play at Soldier Field.
Yes, they will not be playing at Soldier Field no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And they could be playing in
the burbs,
multiple states.
Indiana,
right. So that was wrong. That was bad. Indiana will make the college football playoff in 20. Yeah, well, that was an easy one.
That was
a very easy one. Maybe Matt doesn't know this, but they actually went 16-0. They not only made the college football playoff, they won the whole darn thing. Shafe, I will never run out of gas in my car. Okay, I believe that because once he write it, now you make sure, right?
Exactly.
From now on, you're like, I can never let it happen. Carson Beck to Miami. That was a good one.
Follow the girlfriend all the time.
Follow the girlfriend. And then they broke up.
Yep.
No WNBA season in 2026 because of the contract negotiation.
Yeah. Seems like I'm going to be wrong about that one, but
I think they're going to figure that out. Yeah.
I was pretty damn sure
they're going to figure that out.
Down.
Yeah. Now there may not be any NFL referees in the regular referees.
I did not see that coming.
In the 2026 season. We may have fake referees. or scabs, as we used to call them.
Worked fine last time.
Yeah, that was. You know what? Just for the storyline, it was actually funny. Okay, we got some good entertainment. We had that one play with Seattle, right?
Seattle and Green Bay.
Yeah, Russell Wilson threw the ball in the end zone. That was great.
Neither of them are my team, so I didn't
care. I thought it was funny. A 14 seed will beat a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Was that for this year?
That was for this year. Matt was
that didn't happen.
Very sure. He even thought the 14 might be pitted against Nebraska at one point.
The lowest seed was Wisconsin as a 5 to lose, right?
I believe so.
If I remember correctly, that was the only top 5 seed to lose in the first round. Was Wisconsin?
Right.
Yeah. So that was wrong. Nice job there, Matt.
We're not good at this.
What's the top one? I can't read. I got a bad angle. Top one on Wednesday.
I
got light issues.
The handwriting's very small. I have bad eyes.
Oh, I have good eyes, but I got no angle.
Okay. Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna get up and read it.
Okay. Yeah. Snoop Dogg. What? This was written back in 2025, December of.
Snoop Dogg World will exist at some point in the next 5 years.
What is Snoop Dogg World?
A theme park.
Oh, like Disney World.
Yeah.
I would go to now. Do they just have weed everywhere? Could you imagine?
I mean, you'd have to put it in the right state.
It's got first of all, it's got to be 18 or older, right? At least maybe 21 or older for sure. And it's got to be in one of about 12. Well, you know where it goes? It goes in Vegas.
Okay.
That's where it goes. It's
That
got to
makes
go in
sense.
Vegas. Yeah, it goes in Vegas. You have Snoop Dogg World in Vegas, and everything goes there, I think is what will happen. I got no problem with that. Chance says that Travis turned his back on the sisters. Yes, he did turn his back on the sisters. That is correct. That is what he did. Here's what we have coming up on the show today. Not a lot scheduled for old Michael on a Monday.
Wide open.
11:40. We got odd news, which everybody loves. From what I've heard, it's sweeping the nation.
People do. Marty Cordero loves it.
He asked about it. He missed it. And you told him to go back to radio replay.
I did.
Listen occasionally.
You got to promote the website.
Yes, you do. And then at 1:30, the strongest of our regular media members that come on the show, Robin Washut.
Is this a verified fact?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Robin lifts.
Oh.
Yeah, Robin's a lifter. He puts in the time. And I don't mean just lifting his two kids. He lifts a lot of weight, throws weight around like he's in prison.
Okay.
1:30 for Robin Washut. That's it. Nothing else. Besides, I have some stuff that I can do.
We cleared out for you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk about possible Nebraska draft picks in the upcoming NFL draft and where they might go. Some undrafted free agents too. We'll go over why. This is based on my history since Nebraska joined the Big Ten, on how Nebraska can be, fans can be hypocrites a little bit hypocrites every now and then about some stuff.
Whoa.
We'll go over that, the hypocrite stuff. Because, in fact, we'll do that next segment, the hypocrite stuff. We're going to talk about Nebraska's football schedule based on predictions in terms of win totals year to year and how this schedule is not the schedule overall toughness people talk about. You know, I get it. I get it.
It's a bear.
There's 3 games that can legitimately be considered a bear. 3 games. Other than that, it's not incredible. We'll go over that. We'll preview the game tonight. Have you heard? NCAA championship basketball tonight.
Okay, that's tonight.
You have UConn, which legitimately can be called the most dominant basketball program in the last 20 years. And especially if they win tonight. And then Michigan, who I hate.
Ooh.
I don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan, I don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan, and I'm not even from Ohio, okay? It's one of my favorite songs. I have it on my phone someplace. Don't like them, never have liked them. Always thought as a school they were overrated. I always thought they believed they invented football, which they did not. I think the winged helmet is overrated. I think maize is a stupid name for a color. It's a great name for a food, but not a fan of Michigan, never liked Michigan. I hope Michigan loses. We'll get into that as well. And this is I'm going to ask you this. Why Mondays? Why Mondays? Who considered, I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
So back in the days in like the late 1930s, early 1940s, Franklin Roosevelt, who was the president for a very long time, said to himself, you know what we should do? We should put some holidays on Mondays. So we give a 3-day weekend. Holidays used to be scattered. They used to be on a day, like on the 17th every year or this. But he said, you know what? We should move some of these holidays to where they're the third Monday or the second Monday so people have 3-day weekends. This is the opposite, putting these championship games on Monday, because you got to go to work on Tuesday. And usually these games run pretty late. So you have the college football championship on a Monday night. You have the NCAA tournament on Monday night, which has been that way since I can remember. I remember I went to the 1982 national championship game. I went to the 1987 national championship game, where I'm a huge Syracuse fan. If you don't know this, I walked home after that game because the guy I was with was an Indiana fan. I'm mad at him. So I walked home from the Superdome to my house, which is about 4 miles. And that was a Monday night. It was late. I had to go to school the next day. And then if the College World Series goes to game 3,
that's right,
also on a Monday night.
Listen to any sports radio show based on the East Coast today. They will complain that there's an 8:50 tip.
Why was Monday so I'll give you the ratings thing. First of all, Saturday is the worst ratings for prime time during a week. The next worst is Friday. The next best, however, is Thursday night. So they could arrange this thing to where it is an actual Thursday night. Now, I know you don't get the full day of a Saturday for your 2 games that you're having in the Final Four. But at the same time, you could start one game at, say, 5:15. Who cares about the people on the West Coast? And then you start the second one at, say, 8 or something like that. You could make it happen. I just don't know if Friday's the best. I mean, if Monday's the best night for these championship games. If it works the best for society. If it's the best for the teams. If it's the best for the sport. I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Your opinions on the Monday night championship games, which it seems like outside of, obviously, the sports that are a best of 7, where you don't know what night it's going to be. Outside of that, Monday night is the popular night. When we come back, why Nebraska fans are a little bit of hypocrites since joining the Big Ten. We'll go over that, and we'll also talk some draft and more when we come back here. Middays at Matt. Michael Severe sitting in with Josh Oddson on 1620 The Zone, the radio network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. I'm Michael Sever, sitting in for Matt McMaster, along with Josh Oddson, the man on the wheels of steel. The Zone Twitter feed is powered by Liquid Trucking. I always think they sound like really, really, really tough when they have that drop that plays.
I don't know why they asked us to promote their business.
The Zone Twitter feed is powered by Liquid Trucking.
Nobody tough here on this station.
We don't mess around. We do trucking.
Who do you think is the toughest person
in the station?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Schaefer? John?
That's a heck of a question. I would say probably Joey.
Oh, okay.
It's always the sneaky ones.
Yeah,
You don't expect it. You don't expect it. Next thing you know, he's a Muay Thai expert or something like Thai expert, and he just Krav Maga on you. All of a sudden, you're like, "What the hell just happened?" I just woke up from being choked out by Joey. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Schaefer played interior offensive lineman in high school.
Okay,
it's a tough position, and he's a big guy. McMaster's from Chicago, and everybody from Chicago is overrated. So I would say probably Schaefer, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Are we counting people in the building overall?
I was just thinking like the
just on air.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing it's Schaefer. Schaefer likes a lot of people, though. He's very friendly, like a very nice guy. But you never know about those nice guys. Those are the ones sometimes that
got to watch out.
Yeah, you got to watch out for them. That's why I said Joey. You got to watch out for Joey, because Joey sometimes get very mad about things. Got to watch out for him.
Once you get him to that spot.
Yes. It's the line from Pulp Fiction. You know, I'm Superfly TNT, Guns of Navarone. Why am I in the back seat? We're switching. I got a red line. So yeah, I want to before we go too far, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Larson, who played her final professional match. And I don't know how many people understand here in the state how great of an athlete in her sport overall she was or is. First of all, Nebraska, Omaha World Herald did the top 100 in-state athletes of all time. And she finished highest as a female at number 10. Now, I believe the next grouping they're going to do top 100 males and top 50 females. So they're not in the same grouping. And I believe that Jordan Larson will be number 1 at that point. She will be number 1. But in terms of her successes, okay, she was Gatorade Player of the Year in high school, led her team to a championship match at the Class C level. She was as good as any high school volleyball player to come out of the state individually. Then she goes on in Nebraska, and sometimes it's a slow transition from high school, but she goes to Nebraska. She's the freshman of the year. She's the Big 12 or Big 8 freshman of the year. At one point in her career, she was the player of the year and defensive player of the year, right? She was both of them. First time anybody had ever done it in the Big 12, or was it Big 8 at the time? Whatever she was in at the time for the conference. She was the first one to ever do that. She then went on, after winning a national championship at Nebraska, leading her team to another final. After that, she goes on to be one of the most accomplished professional volleyball players ever. We call her, because she is the Jordan Larson Award, as we give out at the Jet Award for the most outstanding high school female athlete, right? Or female high school athlete in the state. And she was so good, we reference her as being the greatest international player in terms of Americans ever. Winning gold medals, winning silver medals, leading teams, being the captain of many of these teams. Even when she was in high school. Now, they didn't win a state championship, right? Class C, she was the best player on the team. All 3 of the years that I think her sophomore, junior, and senior year, she goes to play for like the juniors team, and she's a juniors All-American in those years. We know what she's done locally here, helping Love get going and all of that, and now being a part of the ownership group and all those things. But just individually as a talent, and what they call it a governor, right? As a legend, acknowledging her career, and she's 39. It's funny to think about it. She accomplished all of that, and now she's got a long way to go in life. after accomplishing all of that. What's next for her? But just wanted to acknowledge Jordan Larson, one of truly the greatest volleyball players and greatest athletes to ever come out of the state of Nebraska. Born in Hooper, born in Fremont, hometown in Hooper, Nebraska. Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to make sure people, that we hit that we got onto that because she was such a just a dominant player. I'm very, very happy to pick her to be the Jordan Larson award for us for the Jet Award and giving it to the best high school female athlete in the state, because it doesn't necessarily matter which sport they're playing. You recognize her as just being as great as she was, and that's what we're trying to do. Sonora DeFini was this year's. She played at Gretna and Gretna East, won 4 state championships, set the record for the most goals in a season, did all kinds of incredible things, and now she is playing at Oklahoma State as a freshman there, and she came back for the awards ceremony last Thursday. All right, so tonight, obviously, we get a Big Ten team in the national championship game. Last night, we had a Big Ten, or yesterday, which is still weird. They don't play the women's championship game at night, or at least later. I believe it was a 2:30 start.
Yeah.
I don't know of many championship matches and or championship games that start at 2:30. Not sure why they do that. It can't be the best for ratings. The only thing that gets decent ratings are the Masters at that time of day, right, on a Sunday. But anyway,
3:15 NFL game.
Yeah, and then even that, if the game is really good, it's Sunday night football.
Right.
It's Monday night football, and then of course it's the pick for the 3:15 or the 3:25 game. So, but anyway, they do that. So I saw people on social media excited because UCLA won the championship, because it's a Big Ten team, which is still weird to think about. When did Nebraska fans become fans of teams just because they're in the Big Ten? I remember distinctly people in this state, Nebraska fans, making fun of the SEC because they claim titles of FCC teams who won, like Alabama, Auburn, LSU, because they're in the same conference. You don't, my opinion, you don't like the teams in your conference. That's the way I was brought up. You don't like teams. I grew up watching the SEC. I grew up a Penn State fan. They were independents when I became a fan in 1978 of Penn State. When they joined the Big Ten, especially after that first year in 94, when none of the Big Ten people would vote for Penn State, and I know nobody cares about this in Nebraska, but didn't vote for Nebraska to be national champions that year. Screw the Big Ten. Never been a fan of the Big Ten. Never will be a fan of the Big Ten. It's not what I do. You follow a team in the conference. Doesn't mean you all of a sudden become a fan of the conference. That's what I heard from Nebraska fans when they criticized the SEC fans for doing this when the SEC was winning everything. Were you cheering for Ohio State or Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana as they won their back-to-back championships? Or are you cheering against them because they're your rival? Or they're the team that you're going to be playing, that you need to be in your conference, that you're going to play almost every year, right? Dude, if Iowa is in a championship game playing against somebody from the ACC, Big 12, wherever SEC, are you cheering for them because they're a Big Ten team? No, that makes zero sense. So I don't understand why people are so. And I know people, like I listen to the Husker Online show, and Sean Callahan is a huge honk for the Big Ten. And I would understand that if you work for the Big Ten network. I get that. They're paying you, right? But just because Nebraska's in the Big Ten doesn't mean you have to be a Big Ten fan, or especially a honk for the Big Ten, to defend everything that's the Big Ten, right? You don't have to be that way. Defend everything that's Nebraska, sure. And you want the privileges and rights that Nebraska gets as a member of the Big Ten, but you don't want the other teams to be winning. I don't think. That's the way I think about it. And so there are people tonight that I know are cheering for Michigan because they're in the Big Ten, or maybe they're cheering against UConn because of Dan Hurley, and maybe you are a Creighton basketball fan, and as a Big East fan, you don't like Dan Hurley. I personally have nothing against UConn. I will tell you, when I was a kid, as a Syracuse fan, I grew up a Syracuse fan, started becoming a Syracuse fan in 1977. The first time I really remember watching the Orange Men at the time. I didn't cheer for UConn. Matter of fact, I was cheering for both teams to lose in 1985 when it was Villanova versus Georgetown. Okay. I didn't want either one of them to win because, again, I was a Syracuse fan, and that's who I cheered for. Didn't cheer for anybody else in the Big East back then. I enjoyed watching the Big East because I knew of all the teams. I knew some of the coaches personally. But other than that, no, I wasn't. And I find it interesting that people now, after all these years of ridiculing the SEC for being SEC, the other fans of the other schools, like, why would Ole Miss be worried about what Alabama's doing? You know, well, because they're doing what you're doing now. And they're excited because UCLA won as a Big Ten team, or they're excited that Michigan might win as a Big Ten team, and that it's a big deal that the Big Ten is winning. It's a big deal when your team wins a championship. It's a big deal when your team plays for a championship. Is it a big deal when other teams in the conference play? I don't think so, because I'm not cheering for them. That's the way and again, part of it is I hate Michigan. I've always disliked Michigan. I didn't like Michigan as a kid. I just don't like them. I don't know what it is about them. I know part of it is going back to like the mid 80s, right? That when Michigan would be on TV, and they were on quite a bit, the announcers always made it seem like it was special because it was Michigan. And I was always like, what did Michigan? At that point, Michigan had done nothing in my lifetime. You know, they won multiple championships before integration. And then after that, it took until 97 to win a half championship, the secondary championship. And of course, they won since then. But they hadn't done anything in my lifetime. And why was Michigan a big deal? I never got that. At least Ohio State, we knew that they had won some championships. You know, that was one thing. Not a fan of them either, but I don't dislike them as much as Michigan. I just think it's funny that people are cheering for them because they're in the big, or that people are Big Ten honks now. I remember distinctly 2009, 2010, when the rumors first started breaking that Nebraska might go to the Big Ten. Now, you may think that it was received incredibly positively because of hindsight is 2020. But I'm telling you, it was not. It was split. People did not like the Big Ten. They didn't like the Big Ten pace of play. They didn't like the Big Ten's teams in general. They certainly wanted nothing to do with Iowa. Nebraska fans did not want that. There were some that looked at it simply for the money and what that meant. And remember that there was the worry that maybe the Big 12 might end up not lasting. Not that conference is going to last long. You know, that's what you didn't think about for a long. You kept thinking to yourself, well, maybe the conference goes away, so I'm excited about going to the Big Ten, a stable conference. But in terms of liking those teams or being honks for the conference, that wasn't happening. And now you look all these years later and you have people that constantly defending the Big Ten as a conference. Screw the Big Ten. I never liked the Big Ten. You know, I just didn't. So I just thought that was funny, thinking back to the amount of people I watched on message boards and the amount of people calling shows and being mad at the SEC fans for latching on to other teams' championships or playing for championships, where now it feels a little bit like Nebraska fans are doing that. That's just my feeling for it. And I get why some people don't like Dan Hurley. He's abrasive, right? You know what he is?
Very.
Know what he is? Above anything else? He's a winner. Let me give you a stat. Okay? Here's a stat for you. I got some of the stats, but it's the stat. Turnaround games, which are the toughest in the tournament, which is round 32, which is the Elite Eight, and which is the final, right? Short prep for that other team you have to play. They're 9-0 under Dan Hurley. 9-0 under short prep. He's 18-1 against the spread in the tournament. He wins. He is a very good coach. Obviously hires a very good staff. Now, if he's your coach of the team you cheer for, you certainly love him. There's no doubt about that. But the great thing about him is, in my opinion, because I like to tell people, he doesn't give a damn what you think of him. He doesn't care. And I don't know your background, Josh. You got any brothers or sisters?
I have one younger brother.
One younger brother. Okay. Mm-hmm. There is something about when you're in a family, especially if you're in a family where your brother or sister is very successful. And then you have to then, with your life, go make your own way. Okay? Bobby Hurley was very successful as a college basketball player at Duke. Nobody knew Dan Hurley. They knew Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley was successful as a high school player, as a college player. People knew Bobby Hurley. So Dan Hurley had to make his own way as the brother that they didn't get talked about as much, which is not easy. I've seen it in many families. I am the youngest by 8 years. So when I went to school, all my sisters had gone to these schools or had these teachers, and people were like, oh, well, you're not like your sisters. In many ways, I was not like my sisters, especially in terms of making good grades. Or not getting in trouble, stuff like that. But I understand that. And so that's part of why that chip on his shoulder is so big. I guarantee you a big part of it is that, because he had to follow in the footsteps of a legendary brother who had so much success. And what's funny about it is Bobby Hurley has tried to go the direction of being successful in coaching, and it's not worked out. On the other hand, Dan Hurley, who wasn't as good a player, has had the success as a coach, which is kind of interesting. And part of that drive is, I'm sure, that chip on his shoulder, and is why he coaches the way he is and the way he acts the way he does because of that. So I'm going to say that I don't dislike Dan Hurley because of his attitude or anything else. I think if you headbutt a referee, I don't care what the reason is, you should get a technical foul. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't. I don't care if it's lovingly doing it. I don't care. Stay out of the cylinder of the referee. Okay. He's got a little cylinder around him. Stay out of that. So I get that. But in general, he's not John Calipari. He's not that guy. He's not a guy who's such a sore loser at times that he does some crazy stuff. He's not that guy. He's not, what's his face from the night? There's another. He's not the kind of sore loser, I don't think. Gino, thank you. Not like Gino, where, look, man, you've done everything in this sport. Somebody beats you, you say to them, nice work. Good job. Good job, good effort. You move on. That's the way you handle that. It's the way you should handle it. They're better than us. They were better than us. I move on. That's the way it should be. But, I haven't necessarily seen Dan Hurley be a Gino type. I haven't seen that. If he has, I missed it. But I am not one of those people that dislikes him like that. Looking at the messages on the YouTube little message board here, Michigan is the Texas of the North, post Division I being integrated. Oh yeah, big time. And there's a bunch of teams like that. Obviously, their teams. Well, Notre Dame was that way for a long time. They won the title in 88. But if you look before that, they had all that success when they brought back players from World War II and when, the game was the way it was, and they could bring all these like almost semi-professional guys in and play for them. And then went over this stretch of couldn't win again all those years. But when we did the comparison of when we're leaving Nebraska's leaving the Big 12 and going to the Big 10, the Michigan comparison was Texas. The Ohio State comparison was Oklahoma. The interesting one was Iowa. Like, who would Iowa be? And at the time, we joked about Iowa perhaps being the Colorado, neighboring state, people you don't like, right? Not very good, like struggled, had many struggles over the years, although Colorado had won a national championship or co-national championship. And so that's how we compared it. Iowa has moved into being a combination of Kansas State, Colorado, Missouri. Like, they're this amalgamation of teams that Nebraska played in the Big 12, now in the Big 10, which is interesting the way that ended up being. Jim E998 says, we don't like any of it, but if we had to choose, I guess he chose Big 10. Jim says, of course, you want your team to only win everything, but Nebraska ain't doing that. So you're going to take the Big 10 team. Okay, sure, that's fine. And it is different times. I'm not saying it's not different times. It is different times than it was when I was growing up. There is the idea of making money because your conference wins.
Sure.
And sharing in the profits of your conference winning, sharing in the TV product of it too. The more they talk about a Big 10 team, the more likely they're talking about the Big 10, which may end up being talking about you too, right? Because so here's an example. Sometime tonight, they will talk about Michigan, whether it's pregame or during the game, and they will say that Nebraska played them within 3 points or 2 points or 1 point. They'll say that. That'll come up because Nebraska played them as well as almost any team played them all year.
That's especially the thing I've been seeing
Right.
all weekend is Creighton fans want UConn to win so they can say they beat the national champions. Nebraska fans want Michigan to win so they can say, hey, we played the national champion close.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I used to like the idea. So I cheered for the Rams to beat the Steelers in 79 because the Rams were in the NFC West with the Saints. And I remember my cousin's about 2 years older than me. He goes, that's stupid. He goes, we hate the Rams. We don't cheer for the Rams. I remember him telling me that. I was 10. And I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But I get that. People always feel that. I remember the year Tampa won their first Super Bowl. The Saints beat them twice that year. And thinking, damn, we beat the Super Bowl champ twice. You know? Now, should I have had extra pride for that? I don't know. I hate Tampa. Tampa won. I don't know. I see that. I understand people feeling that way, especially Creighton fans. You have a horrible season, and you have to try to grab something good. Not only do you have a horrible season, your legendary coach is stepping down. All of that happened to you. You're in this weird betwixt and between position, and you're trying to grab onto something that's good. And it would be we defeated a team that's the national champ or at least the runner-up. So I get that. I completely understand that. We come back comparing the strength of schedule for Nebraska based off of win totals, both this year and last year. And we'll show you how maybe the schedule isn't as daunting, at least based off of expectations, as people are talking it to be. Maybe you'll believe it or not. I'm not sure. We come back, more Middays with Matt. I'm Michael Severe sitting in with him, with Josh Oddson on the Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. Michael Severe sitting in for Matt McMaster. I have this rule, Josh, where I don't ask people what they're doing when they ask me to fill in for them, because on back-to-back ones, somebody had died, they were going to funerals. So, is it a bad thing or a good thing why Matt's not here?
It's a good thing.
Okay, good. Okay. No, just check. Don't want to ask that kind of thing.
It was his birthday.
He took off for his birthday?
Yesterday was his birthday. It was also Easter, obviously. So he went home to have some family time.
Oh, okay. So they couldn't work on Easter Monday.
I believe it's a buffer day.
Buffer day. Okay. I understand. If he would have taken off for his birthday, I would say, you're too damn old for that. But no.
I would agree with that stance.
Taking off for your birthday. I worked 10 consecutive years at this radio station on my birthday because my birthday was during the College World Series. And so I would work one Sunday on Father's Day, and then usually my birthday would fall right around the championship games, and I would work and do a show then. And I really didn't care because we would go out to dinner later probably, and it was no problem because the shows were usually over by 6. So no big deal. Do we do a breaking news sounder for this?
I have one.
You want to play it?
Yeah.
Play a breaking news sounder. Breaking news. Angel Reese is being traded to the Atlanta Dream. We did a little research during the break. This is the second biggest trade in WNBA history, I think, based off of judging it. The Dream are trading a 2027 first-round pick and a 2028 first-round pick to the Chicago Sky. They get both Angel Reese and a second-round pick swap in exchange. Now, of course, as we all know, the greatest trade in WNBA history, we all know this because we looked it up, was when Sylvia Fowles was traded to Minnesota in 2015. Sylvia was...
Obviously.
Yes, obviously. 2015 trade deadline. Chicago Sky sent Sylvia Fowles to the Minnesota Lynx. Chicago had drafted her with the second overall pick, but she refused to sign with them because who the hell would ever want to... No, that's not true. She signed with them, and then she didn't sign in an extension because who wants to live in Chicago? Then she goes to the Lynx, and she wins multiple championships. So they make this trade, and in the end, teaming with Maya Moore, she led the Lynx to the title a few months after the trade. She also won finals MVP in the process. 2 years later, they won another title, and once again, Foles was named MVP. So that's pretty good. She's also a WNBA basketball Hall of Famer and a Naismith Hall of Famer as well.
2 halls.
2 halls. She's in two halls. Other huge trades. Elena Deladon to the Washington Mystics in 2017.
Announced for this year's Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame class.
Yes, and she at the time was MVP in Washington and got traded for draft picks. And Kalia Cooper. Tina Charles, who I met once, went to the New York Liberty, which was good for her because she loved New York. She went from Connecticut to the New York Liberty, is considered one of the other big trades. But Angel Reese traded for 2 first-round picks. No one gets made fun of more for missing bunnies than old Angel Reese.
Yes.
I say it this way. How about giving her credit for rebounding?
That's what people think she's doing.
When I was coming up, you know who Moses Malone is?
I do.
Moses Malone was that. Moses would put the ball up on the backboard, go up and rebound it, shoot it again, rebound it, shoot it again. That's what Moses did. And we used to always joke that Moses was trying to build up his stats, but that just, that's what he was. And that's basically what Angel Reese is as well. I don't know if she'll ever develop into an outside shooter or any other kind of part of her game, but the girl can rebound. I know that as well. So, let's see. Jimmy 998 says, like in Big Ten, he says baseball. Oh, damn thing moved on me. You jerk. Just like in Big Ten baseball, you need some stellar teams like UCLA, USC, etc., to play at the highest level so that Nebraska can prep and strive for that. But it's also different because that's more of a what is it called? RPI thing or whatever they do for the ratings for baseball, right? So you need to have that in order for you to be high enough to where you're getting and get picked for a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it matters, obviously, in the net for basketball. But once you've gotten past the season, now you're in the postseason. It's not helping you then. Going back to what we're talking about in the last segment. And I would say out of the two, that Creighton would get the best out of it if UConn won. Would be a bigger thing than if Michigan won and Nebraska could say we lost a close game to them. It's one thing to beat up on a team like they did to UConn. Losing a close game, even though you're down 2 players, losing a close game to Michigan, it doesn't fit. I would say probably for Creighton, it would be a bigger thing. She said rebounds, me bounds. Yeah. It's a lot of her me bounds. She goes up and gets those a lot. That's what she does. Good for her. How tough is this Nebraska schedule? You've heard a lot of talk about it.
I hear it's brutal.
Nebraska can go 5-0. People are saying, well, then they could lose 7 in a row or 6 out of the last 7 because one game they play is against Rutgers. But I believe it's at Rutgers. So it's even a road game. So one of the ways I always judge just basic strength of schedule, this is just basic, is I look to see what the prediction was, the win total prediction for the teams you played in that year. And then you can look and see how many they won. And it gives you an idea of how tough of a schedule the odds makers think they are. And then compare it to this year or the year you're talking about, same thing, because you'll have win totals early. So you look back at 2025. Now, I initially included Cincinnati because I went with Power 4 competition, but I remembered Nebraska's only playing 9 Power 4 teams. It's only Big Ten. So if you leave Cincinnati in terms of their win total from last year, the projected total for wins for those 10 teams was 71.5, 71.5 wins. If you take Cincinnati out of it, that makes it 65.5, 65.5, because Cincinnati was projected to win 6. By the way, the actual win total for those 10 teams was 67. They went 4.5 under what Vegas had them projected as per win totals. So you take Cincinnati out, it gives you 65.5 in terms of projected wins last year in 2025. So you move to this oppressive, knockdown, scary schedule this year and other adjectives used for about it. And you look at the teams they're playing. Josh, would you like to guess how many games these 9 teams are projected to win total? It is Michigan State, it's Maryland, Indiana, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, Rutgers, Ohio State, Iowa. How many games, just take a wild guess, they're projected to win these 9 teams total?
I'll go 55.
So last year, it was 65.5. This year, it's 65.5.
Okay.
The same amount of games projected to win for the Big Ten competition you were playing this year as last year. The little bit of difference is right here. If you're talking about the top 3 teams in terms of projected win totals last year to this year, that's a difference. The top 3 teams last year were projected to win 30.5. You had Michigan with 9 wins. You had Penn State with 10.5. They missed that. And then USC was 8. Or you could do Minnesota with 8. One of those 2 for your top 3. This year, your top 3 are 2 10.5s with Indiana and Oregon and a 9.5 with Ohio State. So that gives you a projected win of your top 3 being more.
Ohio State's projected win total is 9.5.
It's just 9.5. Yeah. You know, they look at it and they go, what are they doing in terms of changing coordinators again?
Okay, this is kind of a tough schedule for them.
Yeah, it is a very tough schedule for them, finally. So, yeah, you get Indiana and Oregon, both 10.5, Ohio State 9.5, and then you have 3 teams, Iowa, Illinois, 2 teams, Illinois, Iowa, and Washington, that are all 7.5 projected at. So difference between the top 3 win projection, this year 30.5, last year 27.5. Bottom 4, though, teams, you look at it, in 2025, those wins were 22.5. This year, it's only 20. So you're playing a weaker bottom because this year you have Michigan State projected at 3.5. Last year, they were 6. You have Maryland at 4.5. Last year, Maryland was projected at 5.5. And you have the next lowest one would be Rutgers at 4.5. That would be probably UCLA or Northwestern at 5.5 last year. So you have what you could consider kind of a weaker bottom, a stronger top, but the middle is pretty even. That's why, as I said, the total wins projected for those 10 teams you're going to play in the Big Ten is exactly the same as it was last year. It's not crazy. I know that you're playing teams that played in the college ball playoff in Indiana and in Oregon and Ohio State. I get that. I think the majority of the time, you're going to play 3 tough teams as long as you're in the Big Ten. Or 2 and play a tough non-conference team. So you're always going to have 3 teams that are going to be around 10 wins, usually if you're in the Big Ten. So it's understandable. You have it, you got it. But when you look at the rest of the schedule, we've talked about the 5-0. We've talked about the Rutgers game. Iowa has questions at quarterback, changing their special teams coordinator after all of these years. Coach Woods is moving on to Michigan State. Indiana, listen, I know what they've done in these first 2 years under Cignetti is amazing. But if you ever are going to look for a drop-off, coming off a 16-0, losing the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, losing his 2 best wide receivers, losing 3 of your best pass rushers, losing your best cornerback, losing one of your best safeties. If there's ever going to be a drop-off, this could be the year. And Oregon, I think a lot of people look at Oregon and have them in the top 3 of having a chance at the national championship. So we know what they are. And then Ohio State, despite the schedule, like Josh was talking about, which is very tough, despite the schedule, they're still Ohio State. And they have put it on Nebraska in the past. So just looking at the overall schedule, though, where Washington's going to be. Now, I love Damon Williams, and he's back there, and he's scary. He lost his best wide receiver, who's going to be maybe a first-round pick, definitely a second-round pick. He lost his best running back, Jonah Coleman, who's going to probably be a third-round pick, either the third or fourth back taken in the draft. And you look over their overall rest of their team, they've lost some talent. Could come back to the pack. Illinois, losing their 19-year starting quarterback. Felt like he was there that long, right? Him falling away. And I mentioned Iowa's question marks in terms of what's going to happen at quarterback and losing their special teams coordinator and losing the best special teams player in terms of returners in Caden Weigent. So all things that could mean that they drop back. All those things could be. I know that the popular opinion right now is Nebraska's got no shot. That the story is already over and we haven't reached the end of the book. I get that. I understand that the majority of people are so negative right now about Nebraska's 2026 season that they can't look and find anything positive in the 2026 schedule. I get it. I understand. I know where you are right now. I've been here since 2002. I've been here long enough to understand where you are right now in terms of your negativity. Makes me a little sad because, again, there's a lot of positives to look ahead to for 2026. Calandra and his playmaking ability, a running back room that seems to have some depth and some really good young players, an offensive line that's got 5 starters that have all started in Power 4 competition that are huge, more depth at defensive line, even though they probably could have used even more, a secondary that's got a lot of skill, returning one of the best corners in Andrew Marshall, much better speed and athleticism at the linebacker position, more depth at the wide receiver position. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but because Matt Rule is the head coach and because of what you got in the first 3 years of Matt Rule, you're finding it hard in year 4 to be positive. I understand. I completely do. But there are reasons. What happens if they're, I've said this over and over, what happens if they are good? What happens if they do start 5-0? What happens if they finally do upset a ranked team? What happens if they finally do get over the top when it comes to the last month, that month of November that has been a month of horrors for Nebraska?
Then it's water under the bridge. Everything's fine.
No, not water under bridge. We're going to be pointing at you going, you were the one saying they were going to be horrible. No, that's right. It's water under bridge. I agree.
People don't log these things.
I know. They don't keep track of it. I know. Nobody keeps. They keep track of us when we make mistakes. When I pick Iowa for Nebraska to beat Iowa money line, they remember that. But they don't remember their hate and their disagreement on how Nebraska's team can be. Ron Jensen says 8 wins. No hype is positive. Never been told to be excited in the offseason before. Oh, you're funny. You're funny. Yeah. No, I know. I know where you are. I'm just telling you. These are reasons why you can perhaps have a little excitement in your life. You got 5 months till football, dude. No reason to walk around here and being just depressed about it. You know, there's no reason. When we come back on Middays with Matt, it is the segment that is sweeping the nation. It is the segment that has been called by one president of the United States. It's great. It's the best ever. Segment. Wow. In the history of the radio station. Odd news. Next here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone and the Zone Radio Network.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Oddson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Oddson. Odd news, Oddson. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, here we go. Odd news with Oddson. Josh Oddson, you figured out to play on words. His last name is Oddson, and it's the odd news. Josh.
Well, this first story, not the most unusual story I could find, but I do think it might lead us to a place where I see when Michael Severe is on 1620 The Zone. I like when he sits the children down and tells them a story about his ever-winding career.
Okay.
So we go to Connecticut for story number 1, where they are preparing for a potential NCAA championship tonight. They have they've greased the poles that they haven't removed. They've removed a lot of the lampposts in stores, and the ones they haven't are greased. The security is up. I imagine at some point in your career, Michael, you've covered a team that has won a title.
Yes.
And the revelry that happens afterwards. Anything? Does anything come to mind?
The most I ever remember, and this wasn't a title team, but it was winning a game in this Elite Eight to go to the Final Four. This was Louisiana Tech going to the Final Four. And this is in Ruston, Louisiana. Somebody started a fire on one of the corners. That was about it. It wasn't, I can't imagine stores, which I've been to, being that wild. I just can't. As a university, Connecticut's not that wild. Right. As a town, it's not like it's Philly, where I've watched people climb the top of, Vancouver. There were people having sex in the middle of the street.
Hello.
As Vancouver advanced to the Stanley Cup final. That I remember. That was very weird.
Did you see the video of Illinois? I believe it was the team trying to leave Saturday night.
I did not.
I can't remember if it was the team or just Illini fans.
I did not see that.
And they, the UConn fans had found them.
Yes.
And they were generally unpleasant.
Really?
Towards them as they went down an elevator at Lucas Oil.
Yes.
And, nowhere you can go when you're on an elevator.
Well, I could see fans who especially have probably been drinking during the game, acting nutty. But Connecticut's won multiple championships in men's and women's.
That's right.
Stores, you could start calling it, what do they call Green Bay? What's it called?
Titletown?
You could call it Titletown, right? After all these years. Are they still going to get that excited? I don't.
In 2023,
tell me what happened.
They flipped cars, lit fires, 15 people were arrested.
What?
Campus windows were broken using lamp posts.
What kind of car you think you could flip? How many people would it take for you to flip, say, an average size mini at the small SUV? Say, let's go with the Equinox. How many people would it take for Josh to flip the Equinox?
I mean,
this car, remember, these cars weigh over a ton.
Yeah. Like 12 guys?
Like, yeah. How many people got to get together to do that?
I will be of no help.
That's just
if you're going to flip a car and I'm right there, yeah, I'll probably help you, but I'm not actually helping. I just have my hands on the car.
I've never seen somebody flip a car. I have seen this happen when I worked at Kroger years ago. You had a guy who worked at it, had one of those little midgets, the little MTG, and two guys picked up his MTG and moved it to a different part of the parking lot, which was very funny. But that's a very small car. So that's weird, dude. I can't believe they flipped cars and did all of that in Stores, Connecticut.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I did not know that was. Congratulations to Stores. I respect you now. Sorry.
We go to Edmonton for story number 2.
I love Edmonton.
Do you really?
I do. It's great. Pretty town. Very pretty.
Rogers Place, where the Oilers play hockey,
Yes.
During the broadcast over the weekend. I believe this was Saturday. Saturday. Breaking news. We have word that someone has gone into labor here tonight. There's a baby being born on the 7th floor at Rogers Place as we speak.
Oh my.
Saturday night's game between the Oilers and the Golden Knights. A mother went into labor, and the team beat Vegas 5-1. So it was an Oilers win. So good night for that family. Scott Oak informed viewers that a mother had gone into labor during the game, and they would provide more coverage on the post-game show. And sure enough, they did. There was this looks like a marching band, maybe just a few guys in the area who had an instrument walking through the court, the concourse there. Everybody very excited for the baby being born at the Rogers Center in Edmonton Saturday night.
In 1986, I was working at National Canal Villery in New Orleans on the corner of Carrollton and Canal Street. And at the time, I was working in frozen foods, and there was this mass commotion over by the dairy department, not too far from where the butter and the sour cream all is. And there was a woman on the floor. I thought she had slipped and fallen. When I got over there, I realized she was going into labor. Her water had broken. She was laying on the floor. Somebody had put a box under her head, a little thin box, like holds Dannon yogurt. She had her legs up in the air. And I remember thinking to myself, hey, I want to be a doctor. Let's get over here and let's do this. I didn't end up birthing the baby, but she had the baby right there in the dairy aisle of the National Canal Villery.
Wow.
Yeah, it was traumatic. It was interesting.
Later on in the post-game show, the Mr. Oak, I forget, Scott Oak, announced that after 50 years, he will be retiring at the end of the season, and that kind of got overshadowed by.
He should do that earlier.
Yeah,
he should do that earlier.
Don't sit on that kind of
news.
You never know what's going to happen.
Very true. Yes.
And finally, we go to this would be a Tesco supermarket in Kirkwall.
Okay.
What state would that be in? Islands off the coast of Scotland. Okay.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
No. A supermarket gave away 38,000 bananas after the store ordered too many boxes.
We got too many bananas today.
A Tesco just off the coast of Scotland recently intended to order 380 kilograms of bananas.
Okay.
That's about 3,000 bananas.
Yeah, right.
However, a technical error ultimately led to delivery of 380 boxes, each containing about 100 bananas. Excess product would typically be returned to the mainland, but high winds and rough waters surrounding the island this week meant that the bananas could not be shipped back. So they were going to go bad. So they just had to get rid of them. So they had mountains of bananas. They asked the local groups, anybody want to come take a box for your food bank, your whatever you got going on there, your school, whatever, come and get them. They called it a glitch in the system.
2 banana stories real quick. One, when you order groceries online, I found this out by mistake, obviously. You can either order single bananas, which I normally order, or you can order them by the bunch. And so I ordered 7, what I thought was single bananas.
And you got 7 bunches.
And got 7 bunches, and we made banana bread.
Okay.
And the other one for a banana story was this week, Hy-Vee does their first week, second week, third week, fourth week of the month sale. And at the end of that coupon you received on Sunday or Wednesday, whenever you get those, the last one was a free bunch of bananas this week with a coupon from Hy-Vee. Get a free bunch, up to a pound. You get a pound of bananas. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. I saw that today. Real quick, birthdays. I know you guys don't do it, but hey, how old do you think John Ratzenberger is?
Wow.
If you don't know who John Ratzenberger is, you should watch Cheers.
You should.
Yes.
78.
Close, 79. Mary Lou Henner, another fine TV actress. 74. Paul Rudd, 57. Zach Braff is 51, and I went to this because of this reason only. Candace Cameron, who is married to Pavel Bure, hockey story, 50 years old.
Sports Connection.
Year, Sports Connection. We're back. Hour number 3 of Midday with Matt, with Michael Severe sitting in here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. Michael Severe sitting in for Matt McMaster along with Josh Oddson, who just completed a top, 7 odd news of the month so far.
I think mathematically that is correct. Yes.
Definitely. Easily top 7. I mean, it could be higher. I don't keep a running list.
I think it mathematically has to be higher.
Yeah. I don't keep
This is
a
just
running
the
list.
fourth one of the month. That's if we've done one every day. Sometimes Matt nixes it.
No way.
Yeah.
Who the hell does he think he is?
He thinks his name's partially in the title.
I don't care. You know,
He's got so many takes, you know.
can I tell you something?
Please.
I'll tell you something. You don't do this show for yourself. You do this show for the people. You don't do this show for you as a sports fan. You do this show for sports fans out there in the audience.
Mhm.
You do this show for the people who get these little books at their house. And in the book, they write down in the book who they think is a good show because they listen to them anytime during a day, Monday through Friday. Those people who get those books need you to do the show for them, not for you.
That's right.
You nix the odd news. Now,
Some people center their entire lunch around it.
I can give you a reason to nix it, okay? A death in a high office in this country.
That's right.
Breaking news, a coach has been fired from the University of Nebraska. A caldera has exploded somewhere in this world, and it's probably going to lead to us having to move into some weird dome underneath a mountain in Colorado in the show paradise. Then you nix odd news. Other than that, no. Every day, some way, odd news needs to play. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it.
It even rhymed.
I tried. I was trying to go for a rhyme there. Did my best. The NFL draft is just around the corner. Just around the corner.
Later this month, right?
I believe it is the 23rd. Is Thursday? Is that right? April 23rd, I believe, is when it is. I am going to Philadelphia. I'm going to Philadelphia, hang with some friends. We'll watch football. We'll eat food. Hopefully, we will go to. Have you ever been to an omakase or omakase, however you want to pronounce it?
I have not. I would really like to.
So they're awesome, and usually they are for things like sushi.
Mm-hmm.
There is one in Philadelphia. I know you're not surprised by this, but it is a hoagie omakase.
Whoa.
I know. And so trying to get reservations for that is not easy. So I'm trying to get some reservations for the omakase. And so hopefully we can do that on Friday night of our trip to Philadelphia. That is the hope. But yes, the draft right around the corner, happening this month. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, will there be any Nebraska players drafted? How many will be drafted? And where will they be drafted? And when will they be drafted? And I have some answers for you. Let me start by saying that the last time Nebraska had as high as a second round player, they had 2 of them back in 2022 when Cam Jurgens and Cam Taylor-Britt. How weird is that, huh? 2 Cams?
2 Cams.
I mean, there have been a lot of Cams in Nebraska's history. Second only to the name, let me think. More than that. More than Cams probably would be Zach's. Been a lot of Zach's at Nebraska. Whether it be Zach, Z-A-C, Z-A-H, Z-A-C-K, Zachary Bowman. A lot of Zach's. But Cam, 2 Cams in 2022, both second-round picks. They had 3 total that year. The last time Nebraska had more than 3 draft picks in one NFL draft was, your guess, Josh Oddson.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The last time Nebraska had more than 3 players drafted in the same draft. The last time they had 2, both in the second round in 2022 and a 3rd pick that day. So they gave them 3 in 2022. Mm-hmm. When's the last time they had more than 3 drafted in the same draft?
01.
So that would be bad.
That's where I thought we were going.
2016, not that bad. 2016. So a decade ago, Malik Collins, Vincent Valentine, Alex Lewis, and Andy Janovich. 4 players in 2016. It's been a while. 10 years is a long time when it comes to just having 4 players in a draft, right? It just is. I believe San Diego State has had 4 more recently, but that's like the top of my head. Anyway, so I'm going to start with last year's predictions. Ironically, coincidentally, one of those 2. I did the show, filled in with John Bishop, over at a Creighton game, almost to this day, and did a prediction of what Nebraska players were going to go and where they were going to go.
I actually remember this show for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I sort of stored that away for football season. It was like, well, I think there's a lot of draft picks on this team.
Yes.
Just kind of used that as knowledge for myself. Thank you.
And there were not. And as the narrator would say, there were not a lot of draft picks on this team. So going back to last year, Ty Robinson, I had him going between pick 91 and 100. Actually, I'm going to San Francisco with pick 100. He ended up going to Philadelphia at pick 111. So he ain't going in the 4th round. I had said the 4th round going in. I took a lot of criticism from a lot of people that he would be a 2nd round pick. He ended up dropping to a 4th round pick. It was mainly because of his age, in my opinion, because he'd already, played 6 years or whatever in college. I had Thomas Fidone as somewhere between the 5th and the 7th round. I had him going to the Patriots at 171. Instead, Thomas Fidone fell all the way to pick 219 to the Giants. I had, as the other guys who might get drafted, I had Isaiah Nayor being somewhere late 6th round into the undrafted free agency range. He ended up signing with the Niners as an undrafted free agent and then got traded to Green Bay. And believe it or not, he played in the game at the end of the season. Isaiah Nayor played for the Patriots. No, he played for the Packers late in the season. I had Tommy Hill down. I had him listed as an undrafted free agent, but maybe somebody would look at him from his junior year and think he was worth being drafted. He was not. He didn't go to the Raiders like I had him going in the 7th round. Instead, he got brought to a Minnesota Vikings rookie camp. He actually played in the USFL last year, I think with Birmingham. And then the last one who we thought maybe could drafted was Nash Hutmacher, I had him as a 7th round pick to the Chiefs. I actually had him as Mr. Irrelevant at number 257. He did not get drafted, signed with the Ravens as an undrafted free agent, and then signed with Tampa as a college free agent. He is with currently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2016, let's see if we can do better. Emmett Johnson. I think Emmett has a chance to go at the end of the 2nd round. Here's the way Emmett goes at the 2nd round. Love, Jeremiah, goes obviously in the top 10 picks. The other Notre Dame running back, Jadarian Price, sneaks into the 1st round, which then bumps up number 3, 4, and 5 running backs where Emmett is. He is either in the 3, 4, or 5 spot, which then moves him up to perhaps being a late 2nd round pick. Currently, I have him as a 3rd round pick, going either pick 61 if he goes in that late 2nd round, or if he drops to the 3rd round, he goes pick 82 to Minnesota, which hometown team thing, it does happen, or the pick right before Minnesota is Jacksonville. So maybe someone moves up into that spot at 81, knowing that Emmett might be going to Minnesota. That's where I have him.
Pick 61 would be the Rams, yes?
Yes, would be the Rams. That would be as early as possible. And then late is, I think if he's not gone, I think he's definitely gone by either Minnesota or Jacksonville at 81 or 82. I think he's gone by then. So you have Jonah Coleman, Washington, the kid Washington out of Arkansas. Those are the other 2 backs along with Emmett that could go in that spot somewhere. Jacksonville obviously traded one of their running backs away to the Saints. ETN is with the Saints now. So they could be looking for running back. Minnesota, obviously a guy who's from Minnesota, certainly a possibility. And the Rams, who normally don't draft their running backs that high, certainly could use another running back in their backfield. The next pick would be Deshaun Singleton, the fine safety / maybe linebacker or at least second-level player at the next level because of his size and his athleticism. Had a really good combine, had a good pro day, a little bit that he did at the pro day. Late 6th round is where I have him projected. Now, he could go undrafted because of his age and because some of the injuries. It's a possibility. But Baltimore picked 211 in the 6th round is where I like Deshaun going. Baltimore likes big, tough, athletic safeties. They've had a bunch of them. He fits into that.
Kind of a zag on the position.
Yeah. What?
Right? Kind of a differing opinion on the way most safeties are, right?
Yes, they do. Yes. They're looking for, and now remember, they changed.
Most people want slight guys, speedy guys, right?
Yeah. So they're thinking more, less coverage guys, more guys coming down in the box and making plays, right? Obviously, Hamilton does a little bit of both of them for them, but that's what they like. So I've seen them take big power. That's why people have talked about Dylan Thieneman out of Purdue, maybe perhaps going to Baltimore in the 1st round was a conversation I saw. Anyway, Deshaun Singleton, late 6th round. If nothing else, I do believe he gets drafted. I don't think he's an undrafted free agent. I think he gets drafted. Then this is where it gets a little questionable. Sierra Wright, who I think if Sierra Wright, and I don't think he would have wanted to, but if Sierra Wright comes out last year, after having that season he had when he took over the starting position a little bit later, I think it was like, game 2 or 3 by the time he was in there full time, and you watched him play as a true outside or a more of a. So he's been playing a lot of this past year. He played a lot of slot corner, right? He's played that, or almost for some people would be a nickel corner position. If he's playing the field corner, he's playing the boundary corner. You watched him 2 years ago do that, and he was great. He had a low reception rate against him. He had a low target rate against him because people stopped throwing at him. He had the nice pick 6 against USC. He had some good moments. He probably would be talked about as a draft pick if it was just based off of that. But because of being a team player and needing a place to be able to play him, if you're also going to play a second corner who really can't play in the slot, he gets moved to a position where he got targeted more. He let more balls get caught on him because it's a much harder position to be able to control that. And because of that, he's dropped in the opinion of a lot of people in terms of the draft, where some people are calling him an undrafted free agent. Now, he ran fine at his pro day. I thought he should have been invited to combine. A lot of teams saw him during the weeks of practice, both at the East-West Shrine and then when he moved over to the Senior Bowl. A lot of teams watched him. One of the ways that you get drafted is the teams that coach the Senior Bowl see you all week. Now, he wasn't there all week. Got brought in a little bit late in the week. But they get to see you up close, and it's fascinating when you go back and you look at the amount of times that teams who coached in that game drafted a player that was on their side, either north or south. So I think that Sierra Wright could be that guy. I have him going to the Lions in the 7th round at pick 222. The Saints saw him a lot too because their running backs coach was coaching in that game. I think the Saints could be a team too. They need help at corner, need depth at corner. I wouldn't be surprised if Sierra is drafted to play outside corner opposed to playing that slot that he played that last year at Nebraska. So those are the guys that I think most likely have a chance to get drafted and where I think they get drafted. In terms of undrafted free agents, Dane Key didn't run a great time at his pro day. I think it was a 4.54, something like that, but he's not a speed guy. He's a really good route runner. And if you go before he got here, go back to Kentucky. Dane Key, one of the stats they love to look at is catches per route run. So however many routes you run, hell, you could run 60 in a game. And then depth of that catch, right? He averaged top 5 in the country in terms of depth per reception per route run. I know it's a kind of a complicated stat, but it talks about separation is what that stat does. Dane Key got a lot of separation on his routes run in Kentucky. Here, I thought he got separation as well. Didn't get the ball thrown to him. For whatever reason, Dylan Raiola missed him multiple times when he was running open, especially the Minnesota game. Missed him twice in the Minnesota game. Both could have been touchdowns. One on a corner route, one on a ball where they came off a play action, and he had a throw that he was wide open down the sideline, and he missed him. For whatever reason, Dane Key did not have the season that I thought and many people thought he could have at Nebraska. But if you look back at his time at Kentucky, you judge what you saw him do when he came in for your workouts. If you brought him in for a top workout, possibility, right? Or you came to the to the pro day and you saw him. His average draft ranking is about 228. There are 357 draft picks this year. So he does have a chance to go in that 7th round and maybe sneak in. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. He does have some good tape from Kentucky, a little bit of good tape from here. The other guy that I have that possibly could get drafted, and this is one of those things where, hey, he was considered a really good player coming out of high school. He is a twitchy athlete who has shown at times could make plays and was at multiple schools, right? The new thing, Indiana, Oklahoma, and now Nebraska. Deshaun McCullough could be most likely an undrafted free agent, but sometimes they look at those undersized edge guys and they say to themselves, oh, we can use him a lot on special teams. Maybe he develops into like a designated pass rusher kind of guy. Maybe we can use him in space when we need him against certain teams that maybe have a mobile quarterback, and you pick him because of that, which is certainly a possibility. Most likely undrafted free agent, but I wouldn't be completely surprised if Deshaun McCullough did get drafted in this draft. This is certainly a possibility. But that's it. I remember looking at this a couple years ago when they were away, and there were some offensive linemen you thought that maybe, Turner Corcoran at one point in his career you thought maybe could be one. Teddy Prohaska early in his career, you thought, well, certainly with the consideration of his athleticism, his height, and all that stuff, maybe you thought he would get drafted into the league. Obviously didn't happen. And a few others that you thought this year. When Nebraska moves on from being a team that projects before the season as maybe having 4 or 5 guys drafted, and then comes out of the season with only maybe 2 guys going to an all-star game, or maybe 3, when they stop doing that, that's when they're going to be a better team, right? It's just obvious. Better players, usually a better team, go to the Senior Bowl, they go to the East-West Shrine game, they go somewhere. I know the NFLPA does a game. They go someplace. They get invited to the Combine. They go to the Combine. They impress with the Combine. They get drafted. It's that simple. And maybe next year, maybe, when we come up on August or so, we'll do a list looking at the players that are on this team now. Some of the guys who came back this year and guys who may project. Hell, Emmett Johnson wasn't one guy that we projected, right? We didn't. If he had a really good season, maybe he comes out early. Nobody was talking about that. So you certainly could have one of those guys being an upset guy next year as well. All right, we'll take a break. Is that right? We good? We'll take a break. When we come back, irrational things making me angry. Now, this is a running list that I keep on my email. Now, this list is not as long as normal because I just did it a couple of weeks ago or last week. I did it with
just unloaded the clip.
Yeah, just unloaded the clip, and so I got some new ones in there. We'll do some irrational, angry things. If you have some, hey, you can always put them in Twitter. You can do it on the Liquid Trucking Twitter Zone Twitter feed. How are you supposed to say that correctly? You can put it there. You can send me an email if you have my email address. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. You can also as well do it on what is this thing called on YouTube? The YouTube stream message part thing.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, the chat. You put it in the chat as well if you want. If you have any things that make you irrationally angry, we'll do that when we come back here. Michael Severe sitting in for Matt McMaster, Middays with Matt on the Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. That was kind of funky. What is that? What's that music?
I
It's like a video game song. It sounds like.
just found it lying around somewhere.
My son listens
Royalty-free music.
Oh, that's good. My son listens to a lot of video game music. He listens to a lot of stuff. I mean, he listens to everything from like Queen's greatest hits to Mario's greatest hits. I don't know. But that sounds like one of those video game songs he listens to. Kind of stuff. You know?
It does now that you mention it.
Yeah. I like it though. Like right at the end when you fall off the cliff. All right. Things that make me irrationally angry. And I say that because I realize that some of these I should not be angry at. That's why I say irrationally angry.
That's good that you can
I
realize that at least.
I have that kind of awareness that at times I'm angry over something that I should not be angry over. I completely understand. But okay, the first one is a great example of that. I walk fast. I always have.
Good.
It's because of my mom. I was with my mom when I was little. My mom, very small woman, under 5 foot, short legs, but walks incredibly fast. So I walk fast. I'm not good at walking slowly. I'm not. Like, if somebody's walking slowly, I can't stay with them. I have to pull away. Because I walk fast, occasionally, I have this thing where I go to walk into a grocery store or a store that has the sliding doors, and some of them don't open fast enough. And I almost hit the door. I hit the door. Look, man, when I reach the 5 foot mark, that's generous. Probably more than that. The door should open.
Shouldn't there be like, a halo around the door of a radius?
Right. 5 feet is legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I could take one more step. I'm going through an open door. The grocery stores that have the slow ass doors make me incredibly angry. I'm like, come on. I should not have to pause or stop for your door to open. Turn that baby up.
I would agree with this.
Turn it up. I don't know what you have to do. Is there like some sort of UV thing? I don't know.
You got to recalibrate the sensor.
Yeah, fix the sensor. That thing needs to open before I get there. I have walked into a door before because it didn't open fast enough. I was walking too fast.
Okay, so you're working off the assumption that door is always going to open for you.
Yes, because most places it does.
And if I hit it, oh well.
That's their fault,
Mhm.
not my fault. Happened to me I wrote this down because it happened last week. I'm not going to name the grocery store. They do have free bananas this week. I'm not going to name the grocery store. The doors open too slowly. Let's speed it up. The doors opening faster. All right, number 2, in terms of things that make me irrationally angry. Now, this is something that happens during Lent to me because when you can't eat meat, you're always trying to find something to snack on. And my general snack is either like one of those meat sticks or some jerky. That's my regular snack. Okay. I love those things. And sunflower seeds too. Because I can't have those, I will buy those packages of like hummus that come with the chips.
Sure.
Or they also have now the ones that have the cream cheese, flavored cream cheese with like the bagel chips.
Okay.
That's one of the things I buy. Figure out a way to balance our needs. Either the thing has too much dip and not enough cracker or dipper, or too many dippers and not enough dipping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I notice this all the time.
You'd rather have too much dip, right?
No.
No.
I personally would like to. Yeah. Okay. So let me figure this out.
Do you want extra crackers or extra dip at the end?
Dip.
Okay.
I will use my finger.
Yeah.
I will use my finger. Yes. I'd rather have extra dip at the end. I don't want to run out of either the crackers they give you for they give you bagel chips for the cream cheese, which I really like. Or they give you those little chips for the hummus, little pita chips for the hummus, which are fine. I like the bagel chips better. But come on, there should be a science to this. The machine should be able to balance it to where it has enough that when you take a full-size chip and take a reasonable amount, that when you're done with those chips, the amount that you take out is the last bite.
It's 2026.
Reasonable.
I think we can figure this out.
We have the science for this, right?
These companies have big enough boards and enough people that we can figure this out.
If we figured out how to make the $6 million man back in the 70s, you figure by now we could be able to have these containers, these single serving containers that match up both the dipper with the dippy, or however you want to say it. So that's on there. That makes me mad. This one is simple, and I was taught this when I learned how to drive. Maybe you weren't. I don't know. Maybe I was the only one. So you're coming to a light, okay, at a corner. Usually it's at a corner. And there are 3 lanes. The far left lane is a turning lane to go left.
Mm-hmm.
The next lane to the right is that through lane.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lane closest to the curb, in my opinion, unless you're turning, you should avoid being in that lane. Because if you get stuck there at the red light, the people that want to turn behind you
can't turn.
Uh-huh. So you're coming to this light and you have a choice. I can either be in that middle lane where I'm not blocking anybody, or I can be a jerk and be in that right lane where anybody and I'm going straight and it blocks anybody that wants to turn. Because you have that choice a lot of times. You're coming, you can see where you are. You can get over. But I have seen people deliberately, because there's nobody in that right lane, leave the middle lane and get in the right lane, and they're not turning because they want to beat the person off the line.
Mm-hmm.
How about having some consideration for the people turning behind you?
Everyone's the main character now, Michael.
Yes. Every now and then you have to be the, man in blue shirt. You can't always be the antagonist or the protagonist. You have to be man in blue shirt. Anyway, I watched it the other day. Guy pulled right, and I'm turning at 60th and center, turning right. And he jumps in front of me. He's sitting there in the second spot, which is a good spot in the middle lane.
Yeah,
to jump over and be the first spot in the right lane. He's going straight. Everybody behind him now can't turn. How about some consideration? And that's the way I was taught. My brother-in-law, remember, he taught me how to drive. He said, don't ever bogart this lane. Somebody could be turning. And so I don't do it. But others do it. It drives me crazy. All right, last one. This is one that is really close to my heart. Really close to my heart. And sometimes my back pocket, wherever I keep my phone. Apps. Fast food apps. As Josh said a few minutes ago, it's 2026. We are going back to the moon, people.
That's right.
We should have the technology.
Like right now, I think that they're circling the moon, like right now.
1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I think so.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Central. So we should have the technology for everybody's app. It don't have to be the same. Be different. I'm fine. But it should be good. You should be able to customize whatever the item is. You should be able to collect points.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to use those points. And it should be easy to do those things. Reasonable rewards, making it easy to use the rewards, customizing the product. Too many apps out there, and I use them all. Like, you get good discounts using the fast food or restaurant apps. Don't do that. There is one particular company that has the most complicated use of their rewards that I've ever seen. Instead of just being able to pick that reward and then get it free, you have to then add this product over to the products you're already getting. Then you go into the rewards. You got to click the reward button. If you're inside the store, you then have to scan the phone.
Whoa.
Or go through the drive-thru. It makes 0 sense. Be McDonald's when it comes to an app. Be Popeyes when it comes to an app. Do you know on the Popeyes app, they have added a special where you can pick the piece of chicken you want?
There's a different place that I go to that, you want an 8-piece? Tell us what 8 pieces of chicken you want.
Exactly. And so, for example, right now, currently, they have the $5 bag special, which is 3 pieces of chicken.
Whoa.
You can get 3 thighs.
That's a great
if you want 3 thighs. You can get 3 breasts if you're crazy and nutty like that.
Upcharge?
No.
Oh.
$5, like $5.36 with tax.
Well, I know where I'm going this afternoon.
Yeah, I know. And then Now, the standard one, if you don't change it, is one breast, one wing, one leg. Leaving out the thigh is an abomination. I don't get it. If you're a child, you eat chicken legs. Adults do not eat chicken legs. I'll stand by this. It is the worst part of the chicken. It's the muscly part of the chicken. They walk on those legs. It's not the best part of chicken. Don't give it to me unless it's a kid needing it. Can't hold anything else but a drumstick. Anyway, so yeah, be Popeyes, be McDonald's. Just here's the best way to do it. Create your app. Then bring people in of different ages. Somebody that's 10, somebody that's 20, somebody that's 90 years old. Hand it to them. If they have a mistake or they struggle on one part of it, fix it. Make it easier. Make it easier. There should be a customized button. The places that don't have customized buttons drive me nuts. My son, my youngest, does not eat cheese. So if you can't customize it to where I can take the cheese off, I can't order from you.
Yeah.
You're taking away your own business. Michael, when buying for Logan, cannot go to your place because I cannot take the cheese off. It's pretty easy. Here's another example. My wife likes to add jalapenos to a certain sandwich at a place we go. They do not allow her to add jalapenos. They allow you to add every single other product that can go on that particular sandwich except for jalapenos. So what that means? I got to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go inside. I want to be able to use my points. I want to be able to go through the drive-thru, and I want to be out of there. Do not make an app that makes it harder on the person who wants to give you our money.
Man after my own heart here.
You want the money, right? They want the money.
Theoretically.
You think they do because everything's higher. Now they want more of the money.
Oh.
Except for that Popeyes 3-piece. You can get it on the app.
Pretty
good deal.
Does it come with a side drink?
No, this is just 3-piece box.
Okay.
That's it. 3-piece box.
Still a great deal.
I think so too. And the great thing about it is we go there enough that whenever I want another side, it's in my rewards. Right?
Okay.
So mashed potatoes, coleslaw, red beans and rice, French fries, whatever it is, that's where I go and I do that way. But do you have a favorite app?
Oh, wow. I probably use the Taco Bell one the most.
They allow you to do whatever.
Yes.
They are great at it, especially during Lent when I had to take the meat out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great job.
And it's great because it's a lot. It's listing a lot of customizations, but it's actually not like there's only 4 things in everything at Taco Bell, right? But if you want your item to be just so, you don't have to okay, guy at the drive-thru, I want it with this and not this. This and it's just easier.
Here's the $5 favorite. So you can get the sandwich, the 3-piece chicken, or the 3-piece tenders.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, for $5. And you also can get for $5 2 regular sides if you want to do that. But again, I go to my rewards. I have points in rewards. The points in rewards allow me to order a side to go along with the $5 box that I will be getting.
I don't have the Popeyes app.
This is, you know what? I don't always have the app loaded because I don't need to be taking up space. This is just the web version.
Oh, okay.
This is web version. Yeah. They're asking me to use to open the app. I'm like, no.
That's why I don't have a lot of the apps.
Yeah, I'm doing the web version. So currently that's the way I'm working. But there's a lot of, I agree with you. Taco Bell does a great job because there are things in certain, like for example, my wife doesn't like beans. She likes red beans, but she doesn't like a lot of other beans.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you'll get something where she wants to take the beans off. Taco Bell, click that little button, boom, beans are gone. Or cheese for my youngest. Cheese are gone, which obviously is in a lot of stuff at Taco Bell. So that makes sense that would be that way. When we come back, let's talk about the game tonight. I got some stats for you. Reasons why Connecticut might win. Reasons why Michigan might win. Boo, Michigan. And we'll do that. We'll go over the game tonight for the national championship. A chance for UConn to win again. And a chance for Michigan to win the championship for the first time since 1989. I'm racking my brain. I'm pretty sure that's right. The 1989 final against Seton Hall, when Ramil Robinson made 1 out of 2 free throws to win the game. I believe that's right. So anyway, Michigan, long time. UConn, not so long now. We'll go over that game for the national championship tonight when we come back here. Middays with Matt on the Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. Michael Severe sitting in for Matt McMaster. He'll be back tomorrow after taking a little time off after visiting his family for Easter, which is always a good time to do that. We went to St. Paul, and weird
Not St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul, Nebraska.
Okay.
Is where my
forgive me, I didn't know.
Father-in-law lives there in Howard County. That's where he's from. And so after my wife's mother passed away, a couple years after that, he ended up running into a person who he had gone to school with in kindergarten. And they started dating I think it was their 50th school reunion or something. And they started dating and they got married. And so he moved back to St. Paul. And so we go to St. Paul occasionally for holidays. And by far the most interesting mass or religious ceremony I've ever been to. So we did sunrise mass, which is, 7 a.m. Sunrise came up at like 7:15 on Sunday. It was at someone's house. It was a farmhouse located across the street from this really cool wine, not orchard, wine vineyard. What is it called?
Vineyard?
Winery, vineyard. Thank you. Vineyard. And so you go into their house. And you're like, I was like, where the hell are we going? Go into their house. And the minister meets you when you come in, and they had like breakfast and stuff for us there. They had biscuits and gravy. They had like an egg casserole. They had a bunch of pastries and stuff there, water, orange juice, coffee, tea, that kind of stuff, cocoa. And you get there, and everybody gave you something to drink, and you sit down wherever you want to sit in the living room / like entryway. And I always sit in the front. So I'm sitting there, and there's the minister there right next to the window, and the sun starts coming up, and she starts her thing. And then they had like these recorded songs on, I don't know if it was a hi-fi or like on a phone, but they were playing it, and people were singing along with it. It was just interesting. I've never experienced. My mom brought it up like 20 times. That was interesting. Because you used to go into a church or something like that, or being outside for sunrise. Now it was like 30 degrees outside. So I get wanting to have it inside, but it was very interesting the way it was set up for the sunrise mass. Anyway, so that's what we did. St. Paul, Nebraska, which now has, get ready for this, 8 different places to eat in St. Paul. Hey. They have a Runza. They have a Pizza Hut. They used to have a VFW, but it closed. And now in that spot, this place called the Dugout opened up, which has barbecue and hamburgers. I actually had some really good brisket for my first meat of the non-Lent season, which was delicious.
Okay.
And some sausage. The sausage is made with brisket. It's a brisket sausage.
Whoa.
It's very good. They also have a Casey's Pizza. They have a Subway that is inside of another convenience store. They have another restaurant, which is called The Cage, which has a rifle as the door handle.
Hello.
They have a breakfast joint for $7, and they have an 8th one, which I don't know where that is. But they have 8. Now they have 8 places. Oh, it is the truck stop. The truck stop in St. Paul, right on the edge of town when you're leaving out, that has the 8th place to eat there. So they're coming up, man.
Okay.
A town of I think about 2,000 people. And they have 8 places to eat.
I'm looking at it here. Just in relation to what it's near.
Nearest Grand Island, 20 miles away.
Okay.
Grand Island has a bunch of places to eat, obviously. And then from there, you go the other direction. You go to Loop City is the other way.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, because I don't want to spoil anything, but us zone boys are trying to get out that way over the summer. I gotta know where to eat.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What are you going there for? Oh, because of 107.7.
Yeah, they're listening to us right now, probably in one of those restaurants or gas stations or whatever.
Yeah. Like when I first started going to Grand Island, because part of Chris's family lives in Grand Island too. They had no Freddy's. They had no Qdoba. They only had one Chinese food place. What else? There was something big also they didn't have. And they were, Chick-fil-A. And since then, they've got all of that now. They have a great Chinese food buffet place there. They still have one of the last, I believe, Outbacks in the world. They have an Outback there.
Okay.
For the cheddar biscuits. And then all the fast food places you could possibly imagine are all there on that main 281 in Grand Island. In case you haven't been out there in a while. Lots of places to eat. All right, so big game tonight, obviously, national championship game. University of Connecticut in Stores, which apparently is the party capital of the world, according to Josh. I had no idea they celebrated like that. Versus the hated people in maize and blue, the Michigan Wolverines, who absolutely took apart Arizona. My wife and I both needed Arizona to win to finish at the top, near the top of our pools.
Same. Didn't
help. Duke knocked me out of the Survivor when they blew the game against UConn. So I'm out of everything. Out of everything. No reason to watch tonight other than to cheer against Michigan. Okay, here is my reason why Michigan might lose. Let's go back to the women's Final Four. South Carolina played what was considered to be the game of the Final Four against UConn.
I was so looking forward to that
Exactly. Game. Just like everyone was looking forward to Michigan and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't go the way people think. We don't get a good game. Yep. South Carolina takes care of UConn. It's sloppy early. They put them out of their misery.
Sometimes the Super Bowl sucks.
Exactly. But you know what? It's not the Super Bowl. It's the NFC Championship game. Then you have to go on to the Super Bowl. And how do you take that motivation of winning maybe your biggest game of the year into the next game? Obviously, we saw what happened with South Carolina. South Carolina came out a little lackadaisical. For whatever reason, they just didn't have what they normally have, and they came out and didn't play their best game. Could the same thing happen with Michigan? Could Michigan come out flat after taking care of what everybody said was the true national championship game, the one against Arizona? Could it happen? Certainly it could. Being that we have a break coming up, I'll stop right there, and we'll get to more reasons why Michigan might lose the game, and then we'll move on to the reasons UConn might lose the game. And those are much easier because they're playing Michigan, and that's the reason why. But we'll get to all of that. More on the game. Also coming up at 1:30, Robin Washut will join us from Husker Online, filling in for Matt McMaster on Middays with Matt, Michael Severe on the Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. Michael Severe sitting in for Matt McMaster, almost 2 o'clock in your afternoon. Jamie says, my niece lives in St. Paul, great little town. My family has a place on the Sherman Reservoir. So does my father-in-law.
Hello.
They have a pad there, and they have a fifth wheel that goes there as well. Drove through St. Paul almost every weekend. He says the truck stop is money. Yes, I've had breakfast there, and the pancakes are as big as my head. Well, I was about 8, and my head was small, so still. But no, we've been there before, and yes, very good breakfast over there at the truck stop in St. Paul. We were talking earlier about figuring out apps and making sure they work right. Kurt said, if we as a people can't figure out how to sell the same amount of hot dogs or brats and buns in an equal amount, getting snacks right has no chance. Yeah, that could be an issue.
That's a great point.
Do you remember that scene from Father of the Bride where he's freaking out over getting the hot dogs and the hot dog buns getting the right amount?
I do.
It is Steve Martin at his best. And Steve Martin's been good in a whole lot of things in his life, but great in that movie and in that scene. All right, as we were talking about the national championship game tonight, and I referenced that there is a chance that Michigan played their national championship game on Saturday, getting up to a 30-point lead against Arizona, much like South Carolina played their national championship game against UConn, and maybe Michigan comes out flat. There's certainly a possibility that that could happen. Most likely not. Here are other reasons why Michigan might lose tonight. Let's talk about UConn in the tournament. In the last 19 games that UConn has played in the NCAA tournament, they're 18-1 against the spread.
7.5 spread tonight.
7.5, 6.5, depending on where you are. It has jumped around, but yes. They are 9-0 in their last 9 quick turnaround games. So that means round of 32, the Elite Eight, and the final game. Pretty impressive.
That's an excellent stat.
That is incredible that they're that good in the quick turnaround. It shows you not only that Dan Hurley can coach, but he has a really good coaching staff. The turnaround, I remember talking to Coach Bernthal Booth about this and Creighton volleyball. Because, you play like a Friday, Sunday.
Right.
And that second game, you're preparing more during the week for the first game, obviously. You prepare a little bit, but most of your preparation happens after that Friday game. And you've got to turn around, bless you, and have like all that stuff ready to go for the players. The coaching staff's got to have it ready to go for the players, and that's obviously what they're doing really well in terms of their turnaround. UConn has a very good ability to get a team into a half-court game. And if there's anything that Michigan has struggled with this year, it's when they get into those half-court games. We saw it against Nebraska, for example. You slow down the possessions, you limit the amount of shots taken, and you have a chance to get this thing into late of the second half where it is within reach. Michigan also has the unique ability to put you out of the game in the first 10 minutes. So you have to avoid that, obviously. But the slower starts, first, it's obviously a national championship game, so you're going to have some nerves. All of that is certainly a possibility. And UConn's played very well in these games. Dan Hurley knows what he's doing. They can slow it down. Now, the size-wise could be a problem. If it's a game that the fouls are being called early and often, then that could be a problem. UConn doesn't have a ton of size in terms of depth. Michigan is loaded with size and depth. So that obviously could be an issue. I mean, look, their best player gets in foul trouble and hurt in the first 10 minutes of the game against Arizona. It doesn't matter. They're still up 30, right? So it doesn't matter.
He started walking to the locker room, and I went, oh, okay, maybe
they'll come back.
Even out. It really didn't.
It did not happen. No, very sadly.
And all reports are today that Yaxel is good to go.
He is not on the injury report. Neither is Solo Ball. Neither one of those guys are on there. Solo Ball yesterday was in a walking boot, and we saw Yaxel was having issues getting up and down the court, right, against Arizona.
Reports are he was walking around the arena just fine in sandals.
In sandals.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Probably slides.
Or whatever those things are, yes.
I do have a theory that perhaps let's start over. I do have a theory that perhaps, going back to our favorite MCU, that Michigan is Thanos.
They're inevitable?
They are inevitable. And remember, even though Thanos was inevitable and won big early, in the end, he lost huge.
Oh.
With his head getting cut off.
People forget.
Go for the head. That's what you should be going for, Mr. Thor. So perhaps when we're talking about the team that is inevitable, because how they played all year, the way they destroyed teams before the season, the way they played against Arizona in the pseudo national championship game that everybody was talking about, that maybe Thanos gets taken out the second time.
It would be weird if you saw that happen in the women's game and then in the men's game the same weekend.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. You've beaten Goliath.
Yep.
You've won the pseudo national championship game, and then you just lay an egg in the actual title game.
Exactly. And there's certainly a possibility. Now, on the other hand, I mentioned this, the depth that Michigan has, the size that Michigan has, and the ability to put you out of your misery in the first 10 minutes of play time in a game. They've done it many times. They've done it two different ways, too. Here's another thing. They've done it defensively, where they embarrassed Tennessee in terms of the way their defense played against Tennessee's offense. And then the way they got going against Arizona, where they couldn't miss. So they can beat you physically. They can beat you on the defensive end because of their length. And then they can beat you on the offensive end because they can get hot. Even, again, like we said, without perhaps the player of the year in the lineup in the game against Arizona. So lots of reasons and lots of ways for Michigan to win the game. Some odds numbers for you, things that I would look at. I mentioned national championship game, perhaps a slow start. I mentioned the way Michigan can jump out on people and the way they can do it both offensively and defensively. The first half over-under is 68.5. That total, I think, is in a perfect spot for the under. Michigan's limited teams to shooting well early in the game. Slow start because it's a national championship game overall. Coming down off the high of knocking off Arizona. All of those reasons, I could see a lower scoring. And now it may be a lower scoring where Michigan scores 30-something and, UConn only has 18-something. It could be one of those. Or it could be lower scoring where it's 29-28, something like that. 68.5 under, I recommend. I don't recommend this one as much as I recommend the first half under, but if you think that Hurley's coaching and it's going to be low scoring, UConn is getting 3.5 for the first half. You have the chance to do that. Take UConn, give the 3.5. Take the 3.5, and you say, hey, I am counting on UConn and their talent. UConn being, I heard somebody compare UConn to the Chiefs the other day. You don't pick them to lose until after they've lost. Right?
Sure.
Just keep picking them to win because they keep winning, right? So
there's some similarities.
Yeah, a little similar. They won some. The game against Duke, there's no reason to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
All Duke has to do, all Cam has to do is catch the ball and get fouled.
Yep.
Not try to throw it, not try to feed it down court, catch the ball, get fouled, game's most likely over. Even if he throws a bounce pass instead of throwing the ball in the air, game's over. If he just throws the ball straight up in the air towards the whatever, I don't know what the overhead thing looks like in terms of the scoreboard, but just throws it straight up, they probably win. But yet they still lose the game in one of the most unlikely ways possible. But they still win it, like the Chiefs have done in the past. Here's my 3-leg parlay you can go with. You take the under 68.5 first half. You take UConn first half plus 3.5, and then Michigan minus 2.5 in the second half. That pays you plus 400. If you want to get a little kinky, you want to add something crazy to it.
We don't kink shame here.
We don't kink shame, no. You anticipate that UConn's big man is going to get in foul trouble, right? Look to the bench, to the guy you think has the best chance to come in in his spot and either bet the over rebounds or over points. I recommend the over rebounds. I looked earlier, and the backup, it was like over 2 rebounds for plus money. So anyway, you do that. You can add that in there too. But if you're just going to go with first half under 68.5, UConn first half plus 3.5, and then Michigan minus 2.5 in the second half, that's plus 400. Not bad odds for something that's pretty likely. I mean, there's always when you get to these championship games in any league, they always have that bet where you can go, one team wins the first half, the other team wins the second half. Get a little crazy and say UConn actually wins, so money line them in the first half because you believe that the coaching and everything else is going to have them leading at the halftime.
That alone would probably pay pretty well.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like about a plus 270. I'm just guessing first half for them. I could look it up. And then say inevitable team in Michigan comes back and they win the second half. They win the game. So you take UConn to win the first half and Michigan to win the game. That usually pays pretty well. I remember during the regular season, the guy that's always with Bill Simmons, cousin Sal, he would take the Steelers to do that all the time. Steelers, either way, sometimes he did it with them losing the first half, come back and winning the game, which he hit a lot on, and the other way as well. So certainly that's a possibility if you think about doing that. I personally, whatever it takes for Michigan to lose, I'm for all of those, but I do feel just by the inevitability of what they are, that there certainly is a possibility.
If you win, UConn wins the first half, Michigan wins the second
game,
half.
okay.
The game, plus 490.
That's not great at all. I thought it'd be better than that. What is UConn to win the first half? Is it not over plus 200?
First half spread, first half total points.
First half is 3.5. Yep.
Yeah, first half money line. There we go.
Yeah.
Plus 200.
Yeah. Okay. So plus 200. And so the number's so big, so much of a minus number for them to win the game. That's obviously it. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. So that's not a bad thing. Let's see. Travis says on the chat line, he says Hurley in April, Strohmeyer in December.
Inevitable.
They're inevitable. I like it. I like that one a lot. I'll take that. Shout out 97.7 The Zone. Shouting them out on here, which is great. Jim says, talking about, where you should be in terms of coming up to the light and if you should be in the lane that people need to turn out of.
Oh, yeah.
He says, the struggle of thinking ahead, people really have no ability to think ahead anymore while driving a vehicle. Now, that could be the reason because they're doing other things. The phone comes into it.
That's the problem.
They're worried about the phone or the radio or something else, and they're not. Because that's what I remember when I first started learning how to drive, which would have been 85. That was one of the things they always talked about. Like, think about what other people may be doing that's stupid and making sure that you're avoiding that. Like, looking over at this lane over here, making sure that nobody comes over into your lane. Or looking ahead to see where that light is. If it's been green for a long time, anticipate it being a pale green and maybe starting to change so you're not running a red light. Like things like that. I don't know if they still teach it that way or not, but that's the way I was taught how to drive, to anticipate the stupidity of others.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about the doors in terms of going into the store.
Oh, yeah.
He says they have slow doors because y'all run into them. I guess we're breaking the doors because we're running into them. That's certainly a possibility. Jamie said, do you and the Mini go to Galaxy, Severe?
Did you see the Mario movie?
No, I did not.
Well, you were out of town all
I don't have little kids anymore. So when we had little kids, we would go see the Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually finally getting together as a family and going to see Hail Mary tomorrow night at 6:30.
I plan on
very excited
trying
about
to get out with the wife this weekend. See that.
We listened to the book on tape on a drive from Omaha to New Orleans, which is about a 16-hour drive. It's about a 16-hour book on tape. When it was over, we all agreed, first of all, it was the best book on tape we've ever listened to. And we've listened to a lot of book on tape, a lot of them.
Interesting.
One of the best one was something called The Last Thing He Said to Me, which ended up getting made into a movie. It was really good as a book on tape. And then that Crawfish movie.
Where the crawdads
sing.
Yeah.
That was good too. Really well acted. This one was the best by far. And I remember saying, we all said to each other, how are they going to make this thing into a movie? One, it's so complicated. Two, the characters' descriptions in the book on tape, even with great special effects, you didn't think they could be able to do it. And then the ending of the book isn't necessarily cohesive when it comes to the way Hollywood handles the ends of movies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so we were like, can they do it? And I believe it's got good reviews, right? I don't pay attention a lot of times to the reviews anymore. Like when I used to do a show and I worried about that stuff, it had Ken on or whatever. But I think it's getting good reviews and I think people like it. It's impossible to equal to a 16-hour book. I know that. But I'm hoping that it's good. And I'm excited
94% on the tomato meter from critics, 96% from the audience.
What is it on Metacritic? That's what I'm a Metacritic guy.
I like that. I like
Rotten Tomatoes is fine. You know, I don't.
They can.
Yeah. What does Metacritic say? What do they think about that movie?
Let's fire this up here real quick. 77, generally favorable.
Oh, okay, that's not bad at all.
A little lower than I would have guessed.
But 77 for Metacritic is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamie said he likes Mario Kart. My son does. No, see, so my son, he's the assistant esports coach over at Central, and he plays a lot of video games in terms of for competition, and he plays fighting games.
Okay.
So mostly he plays those kind of games. He doesn't really play the Mario stuff anymore. Did when they were younger. Mario Kart was his game, but he has moved on. He was a Smash Brothers kid. They went from Smash Brothers to War Gears, Gears
of War.
Thank you. Gears of War, plays that. And he also played that Red Dead thing too. So those were kind of his main games that he played in competition, but not really a Mario guy. And they've one's 20 and the other one just turned 17. So I'm not sure if the Mario is more of a kid's movie or not.
Yeah.
You never know, because some of that stuff, like I remember when we went to go see what's the Ryan Reynolds movie? Pixel? No, not Pixel. Well, we saw Pixel too. Free, yes. We saw that in a theater thinking it'd be kind of kids. That was great.
Yeah.
I love that movie. We've probably watched that 3 or 4 times just at home, you know, because it's just a really good movie. Free Guy. Yeah. I like that.
My 7-year-old is very excited for Mario.
Okay. Do you have 2?
No.
You have 1?
Just the one.
So you're 7-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Cool. Well, I hope you guys get to go see it.
We will. It might rain this week. We were going to go to the drive-in, but now
I haven't been to the drive-in.
No, I don't know.
How is the new drive? This the one in Valley?
Yeah, it's terrific.
Is it really?
They do a great job. They just set up a second screen so they can run 2 movies at the same time now.
Oh, it was only 1 screen.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old one in Council Bluffs?
I do actually.
3 screens.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was either Council Bluffs or right by. Was it on the other side? I think it was on the other side of the river. Yeah. So it's by the South Omaha Bridge. You would go over there, and that's where you would watch it. I think it was 3 screens back then, with the first movie always being the Three Stooges. And then you'd get another movie that was a new movie. You get a little bit older movie for the third movie. Mm-hmm. That's what you would get a lot of times.
I remember I saw The Lost World there.
Oh, Jurassic movie.
Yeah.
Not bad. We went to go see. My wife likes these, so the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Which I can understand half the things that Johnny Depp said in that movie. She likes the walking movies. She's a fan of those.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
franchise.
we saw one of those over there. And she also likes Harry Potter. Those things. Those movies. None of those movies are my speed. Anyway.
Great take.
So we saw maybe one of each at the drive-in. But I got to check out the one in Valley. Is there good food?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of options, too. It's not just like, we got hamburger, hot dog.
Nice. They have nachos?
Yeah, nachos, chicken.
Yeah. All right, check that out. Expensive?
I think it's Val's Pizza.
Is it by the car or is it by the person?
It is by I believe it is by the person, but at a certain point, you can just pay for a car.
Pay for a car. Okay.
Yeah. And you can pay to hey, we're bringing Jimmy John's in or whatever.
You can bring your food in with you. Okay.
There's a charge to it.
Okay. Oh, I like this. Is exciting now. You know the most random place to get the best meal? Let me give you the most random place in the metro to get the best meal. It's the bowling alley at 72nd and Dodge.
I've heard this.
Go to that. They have
one of those guys who, hey, I'm here at the, let's check it out. They went there and raved about the food.
The people who cooked there used to have a food truck that was based in Papillion. Willoughby's, I think it's called. I think it's Wilby's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they cook out of there, and they have a fried lobster tail.
Yes.
Like just random food that you'd not expect, but yummy. Anyway, yeah. So random place to go. We will take a break. We'll come back. Coming up at 1:30, we'll talk to our friend Robin Washit, kind of wrap up the Nebraska basketball season a little bit and talk about what's coming up starting tomorrow. You know what tomorrow is?
Tuesday.
Yes.
Nailed it.
And
God.
The 7th. And the opening of the college basketball portal.
Oh,
yes. We'll get to that with Robin Washut as well. When we come back here, it is Middays with Matt. I am Michael Severe sitting in for him on 1620 The Zone and the Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to Middays with Matt. McMaster out today, back tomorrow. Michael Sever sitting in for him. Our one and only guest on the show today is, as I always say, the strongest man in Nebraska media, from Husker Online and the senior voice in Nebraska basketball. That's Robin Washut joining us here on the show. Hello, Robin.
Michael, you sure do know how to gas a guy up, I'll tell you that.
I will gas you up. You got two wonderful children, a great wife. I'm sure you drive and follow all the speed limits and all that stuff too. Good job by you.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Give me the one, if you, so we do this a lot, right? I throw a year at you and you're like, oh, I remember this from Nebraska football or whatever else. When I throw you, say 30 years from now, and I say, 2025, 26, Nebraska basketball, will there be one overarching memory you have from this season?
I mean, obviously there were a lot of big ones along the way, but nothing will ever top Oklahoma City and just that scene, the first win, the history that was made, the grown men hugging and weeping in the stands. It was a scene that any Nebraska fan had dreamt about, and it played out exactly like you would have hoped. The fact that the Troy game was, pretty much in control for the entire second half, it allowed it to just be a giant celebration, and decades and decades of pain and frustration for Husker fans just started pouring out. And so that's a moment that I don't think can be topped as far as this season, and I don't know if it can ever be replicated again, just because of the history and the uniqueness of that moment. That no matter what they do from here on out, maybe the first Final Four national championship might rival it, but to get that first win, that was about as good as it gets.
Well, it's like that with anything in terms of nostalgia. The first time you do something, the first time you witness something, is always the most special, right? You just, because it's the nostalgia part of it. As great as it was, it's going to be even greater in 10 years.
Yeah. And again, so it's one of those that because it was the first tournament win, I don't know, it can be rivaled, but it'll never be replicated.
I, of course, didn't hear, I saw you just posted Fred Hoiberg's press conference on Husker Online. What did he have to say about tomorrow and the opening of portal season?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of the usual, roster retention is priority number one. They feel good about bringing the core back that you would expect they're hoping to bring back. Price Stanford had a doctor's appointment today, and last week I reported that he was going to get sports hernia surgery and actually see a specialist out in Philadelphia. So he saw that specialist today and confirmed kind of what they already thought, to where he will need surgery and it's going to keep him out for several weeks. The exact time frame is to be determined. A lot of it just depends on the player and how they naturally recover from things like that. But Fred didn't come out and say it, but you can kind of read between the lines there. It's well, if this is going to sideline Price throughout the pre-draft process,
right?
And he feels good about the core coming back. Price is at the forefront of that core. Odds are you can maybe jump to the conclusion that Price is going to return for his senior season next year, and that's the biggest domino of all. And I think we'll see kind of what happens. You never know, but the fact that there's been no departure movements to this point leads you to believe that other guys like Braden Prager, like Bear K, and Kale, and some of that nucleus that they really want to retain, they appear to have made quite a bit of progress in locking that up. So I think as far as a retention standpoint, they're in a good spot. And then, like you said, the portal opens tomorrow. But it's weird because they're still in a recruiting dead period until Friday. So the portal will be open, but players will not be allowed to visit, and coaches will not be able to have in-person contact with players until the 10th. So starting tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, that's going to be all Zooms and virtual meetings, and and all that stuff. So it'll be like COVID recruiting all over again. And the good news is Nebraska kind of dealt with that last year. I mean, most of their portal recruiting a year ago was via Zoom from Las Vegas in between practices and games during the Crown. So, they're no strangers to getting a lot of work done, with limited in-person access. But I would expect right out of the gates, they're getting a lot of Zoom with their priority guys to kind of at least get the ball rolling and continue to progress the behind the scenes work that has led up to this point to lock those guys in.
Robin Washut joining us from Husker Online. Do you think that Price still puts his name in for the draft just to put it out there?
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. You can still get an evaluation. Like, even if you're not doing pre-draft workouts or a combine or anything like that, like with your name in the draft, you still get an evaluation and get like feedback from scouts, and personnel, and all that stuff that like will either tell you what they like about you or what they don't like about you. And that can at least give you a framework of, how to attack the off season to improve on the things that are holding you back, and maybe strengthen things that teams really like about you as a draft prospect. So I do. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. Like if you are anywhere like remotely close to a viable draft prospect, you put your name in just to get that feedback. So, it wouldn't surprise me if Braden does it. It wouldn't surprise me if, other guys that, would be fringe prospects at best right now, you just go through the process to just get a better idea of where exactly you stand going into your upcoming season.
There were so many people talking about Braden Frager and him being unhappy or not looking great on the bench or whatever else. Was there any smoke to the fire of maybe thinking that he would be moving on? It never made sense to me, only because if the most money you can make is probably here, the best opportunity is probably here for him. It never made sense to me, but was there ever, do you think, any smoke to it?
I mean, you never know with this day and age. Things can change very quickly, just with the nature of college basketball and the portal and just society. Like, there's always greener grass somewhere. But with Braden, I think his deal was he's just an extremely emotional kid who wears his feelings on his sleeve, for better or worse. Like that jolt of energy when things are going well that really provided that spark Nebraska needed this season. But when things don't go well, you see instances where he's hanging his head on the bench and feeling sorry for himself. So that's kind of just the nature of any young player, but especially one that is for better or worse as emotional as Braden is. So I don't think there was ever like any legitimate smoke of him leaving. But you got to kind of work with a kid like that to make sure that you're relaying consistent messages to him. And I think the big thing for Fred this year was that I know that this year we've got Rink, we got Price. They're getting the majority of the focus in our offense.
Right.
But your time is going to come, and Fred said that publicly many times, that Braden will be a prominent piece in their system next year, and they are going to design sets to get him the ball and create scoring opportunities for him, where a lot of the stuff he got this year was off the cuff, maybe outside of the framework of the offense. So I don't think it ever got anywhere to where it was a big concern, but I chalk it up more towards Braden just kind of wearing his heart on the sleeve sometimes.
Where do you put Connor Essegian in terms of that spot? Like, what would you think he gets done in terms of coming back this next year?
Yeah, he's still a bit of a ways away from doing on-court work. He's been doing a lot of just straight line running, weightlifting, and I guess the hope is that he'll be ready for the start of summer workouts. But kind of the way they've handled some of these previous injuries, like Rink or whoever else, they're going to be really cautious with him. So if he's not 100% ready to roll come June for the start of summer workouts, they won't rush him back. And the good news is a lot of that stuff is just like kind of offensive install, or like going over just kind of the basics of the system for newer guys. Connor's been here a long time. He knows the offense, so he won't miss much. So the focus on him is recovery, but when he gets back to 100%, I think he provides them veteran leadership, a shooter, obviously, to pair along Price, and you get the picture of, a skilled big out of the portal with Connor and Price and Braden on the wing, and then if you're a portal point guard right now, that's a pretty appealing picture right there to rack up some assists and score a lot of points. So I think that he's very much in the cards as a fixture in the rotation next year, but his return to the court is still an ongoing process.
What's the first call you make? Is it for that point guard, or is it for that front court player?
No, big.
First.
I mean, Fred said it a couple of times. He said it again today that, one of the things that he was impressed most about this season is they had this success without a true point guard on the roster. Like Jamarcus Lawrence was not a true point guard. Sam Hoiberg was not a true point guard. They both played off the ball for the majority of their careers and kind of like transitioned into more points, lead facilitator type of a role. So I don't know if that's necessarily like a top priority. Like, we've got to go get that quote unquote true point guard. I think that obviously being able to facilitate, initiate the offense, and do all those things are qualities they need.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the big factor, when their teams are at their best, they have Rink Mast playing at a high level. You had Derek Walker playing at a high level. Even back to the Iowa State team, those best Cyclone squads had that kind of do-it-all point forward in the middle that allows them to play with the spacing and have the shooting threats that really make Fred's system click. So that's, for me, I mean, Rink's shoes are the biggest to fill. Point guard is a close second, but even if it's not a true point guard, getting a scoring combo type to replace what they're losing with Sam and Jamarcus are clear priorities, but there's no bigger spot on their to-do list than replacing Rink Mast. There's no question about that.
Robin Washut joining us from Husker Online. National championship game tonight. I mentioned this earlier. There's no bigger Michigan fan tonight than Sean Callahan because he is the biggest Big Ten fan I know. How about you? Are you the person who cheers for Michigan win this game because it's Big Ten and because Nebraska played them closely, or how do you determine who you want to see win tonight?
Well, I picked Michigan in all my little brackets.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I'm like anywhere remotely close enough for that to matter as far as winning anything.
Right.
But like, it's nice to say that you picked the winner.
Sure.
So I mean, they look like the team that was down at the Players Era tournament, just boat racing everybody right now. And I think when they're healthy and playing to their full potential, they are clearly the best team in all of college basketball. And what they did against Arizona was maybe the most stunning result of all, because I thought Arizona was the one team that could compete with them, and that game was never even close. So I don't know if rooting, I guess if you're rooting, yeah, sure, I'll go with Michigan just because it would be nice for the Big Ten to end that championship drought. It would be cool for Nebraska to say, hey, remember when we almost beat the national champions without two of our best players in Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
But then also, like, I think that they're the best team in the country right now, and they're playing every bit the part right now.
Any concern we see a repeat of what happened with the women's tournament where you had South Carolina get their huge win over UConn, but then come out flat in the final? Any concern about that, you think?
I wouldn't think so. Because really both these teams are like, they like nothing short of a national championship will do. So like now they're there, and you would expect them to be fully locked in. I guess the one concern is, Yaxel, like, is he healthy? Like, and how much does that change things if he's not 100%? Sounds like tweets today say that, he was looking good in the warm up period, whatever. So we'll see. But as far as like a mental hangover, no, I don't think so. If you have a mental hangover in the national championship, I don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not as much as that. I think that most people think that Michigan was playing in the national championship game against Arizona because of the other side was weaker. I think that was kind of the feeling in the women's is that South Carolina beating UConn, they already won the championship. So now they're going to go play the lesser of the teams. That's all I
don't know if it's quite that territory, just because, beating UConn in women's basketball is a little different than beating Arizona. But and the fact that it's UConn on the other side, I mean, like Hurley will get anybody geared up to beat him. I can tell you that much.
Last thing, do you have an idea of how much more money Nebraska basketball will have because of the run that they had this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's no numbers getting like officially published,
so
it's all kind of speculation. But I mean, you can expect that there'll be an increase, and Fred has said as much. I know that there's been some reports out there that it could be in the $8 million range, which is certainly substantially more than what they've had in the past. I mean, I think a year ago, they were probably between rev share and NIL, probably in that like 6 million range. So it's an increase. Problem is that you're in a league with a whole bunch of $10+ million rosters. So yeah, it's more for Nebraska to work with, but they're still behind the curve when it comes to paying what UCLA and USC and Michigan and Indiana and those types of programs that are spending big time bucks, Illinois, that, you know, even within your own league, there's still quite a bit of catching up for Nebraska to do. So it's certainly a positive step in the right direction. They will have more resources than they've ever had to try to replace and build upon what they did this year. But, you know, in the bigger picture, even within the Big Ten, they've still got a ways to go before they are matching the top of the league.
Robin, we'll let you go get back to your workout and rep it out, and you know those 225s at on the bench. So you get back to that, and we appreciate you taking the time.
I'm a few years removed from my diamond push-up days, Michael, but you know,
you're still Robin Washit, aka Rob. I know who you are.
Okay, Rob.
Thanks, Robin.
See you, Mike.
All right, Robin Washit. Husker Online, for some reason, I don't know why Sip calls him Rob. I don't know. I don't think that is even translation. I mean, Rob is Robert, not Robin. I don't even know how that works. Anyway, we come back. What's on TV, right? Oh, yeah. What's on TV tonight? When we come back here, Middays with Matt. Michael Severe sitting in. Final little segment when we come back here on 1620 The Zone. Congratulations to astronauts that have flown farther than any astronauts in United States astronaut NASA history. Congratulations.
Take that, Tom Hanks.
Apollo 13's record. Let's go to what's happening on the TV tonight.
Well, it's obviously the national championship game tonight. UConn, Michigan, 7:50 tip-off tonight on TBS. Very funny.
We'll see.
And coverage begins right here on 1620 The Zone at 6 o'clock tonight. NBA kind of steps aside for tonight. There's one game on Peacock, though. Knicks Hawks at 6 o'clock. Michael, there's this sport called baseball.
Never heard of it.
Just started up again for the new season, not too terribly long ago. The last two teams that met in the World Series.
Oh my goodness! Don't even
play tonight.
The World Series. Dodgers, I know for a fact they won.
That's right.
I have no idea who they played.
They played the Toronto Blue Jays.
Straight up.
That's right.
Was Joe Carter in the lineup?
He was not.
Damn it.
6 o'clock tonight on FS1. 7:30 on ESPN. Sports Heaven, the birth of ESPN. The docuseries tells the remarkable story behind the creation of the network, and this is their PR department that would transform sports media. Following Bill Rasmussen, his son Scott, and their early partners. Yes, it is true. And I put this on here for you. Disney Plus, first two episodes of Star Wars.
Yes.
Maul, Shadow Lord.
I am so excited about Shadow Lord. Let's go.
Do I need to watch anything before this, or can I go in cold? I remember Darth Maul.
Did you see the end of Solo? Did you watch Solo?
Yes.
So you remember the end?
No.
You don't remember Maul being
I just remember Donald Glover being cooler than
he was very cool. You don't remember Maul at the end?
No.
He's talking to the lovely Queen Daenerys.
Okay.
And he lights his double-edge lightsaber. Yeah, that's knowing. I think knowing that will help a little bit. But no, just the Maul, you know. Oh, the cartoon stuff was great when he came back with the spider legs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's it.
I'm very excited about that. Let's go with that. Okay. So what time is the show normally in? Like now?
Yeah.
And then do we do the crossover?
Yes, the crossover is next.
The crossover is next. Thanks everybody for joining us. Matt will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Josh, for the help. Crossover is next here on 1620 The Zone.